It's not the one I want. Oh, it's extended. Okay. Holy crap. Let's see. Good morning. What's up? Gonna give it a second for people to join. I'm still not awake. I'm still not. Audio check. Never used a machete before, as you can tell. Oh, shh. Whoop. What's up? What's up, man? Good morning, people. Oh, no. No. Uncle said, hey, Mel, show us how to cook corned beef hash, please. Yeah, one of the first videos that I did when I started this channel was I was just doing a bunch of different things, and I thought it would be good to show people how to cook corned beef. And that's not even how I cook it, because I normally like to cook it with all these different things like cilantro, some onions, and like all the different things. But I didn't have any of that day, so I just did it, and I used a fork. Yo, these people got so pissed that I was using a fork. How dare you? You're using the fork in that material. It has these things that come out of it. And yo, they were angry. Oh my God. They were really pissed off. And I had a video how to open a can of corned beef. How to open corned beef. And, you know, people watched it. It got a lot of views. I guess people don't know how to open that thing. You'd be surprised what people look up. But yo, good morning, man. A couple things I thought we could talk about. I'm gonna give it a little bit more to for people to join. People probably sleeping still or at work or whatever. They don't expect me on this early. But a couple things happened, man. This guy's out there, Christopher Laundrie, mowing the lawn, going about normal. You know, protesters, I guess, when we were sleeping or whenever it is last night, went knocking on the door. They're like, dun 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 dun. There's a little bit of video of that, a small clip. Just a couple little things just to stop him for the morning. And then we'll probably be back later. Morning. About time, mowing the lawn. Geraldine, thank you. Good morning, Mel. Thank you for the coverage, for all the good coverage you do. You have you look closely in the pool, in the drone footage? That pool thing, I heard, is just like a pump, like a water pump. It's not somebody swimming in the pool. Yeah. Morning, man. Hope you guys have a great day today. Be safe. Yeah, she's a lot better. Thank you. Pool filter. Yeah. Australia. All right, I think let's get started. Just doing a little morning stop by. How the hell do I close this out? Stuck. A couple of things, man. We're gonna watch this short clip, I think, from last night, and then we're gonna watch some of the. Not gonna watch that, but this morning, it's on the move. I really am waiting for the day to see these people like just swimming in their backyard, like the day they just. That'd be crazy, right? I'm sure that people would get really upset.
But to hear, I think a lot of people suspected this would be the cause of death, but to hear the coroner say strangulation and to actually see it in the final autopsy report, it's hard not just to sort of imagine what Gabby Petito's final moments were like.
Oh, wow.
The cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide.
We now know how Gabby Petito was killed. It is in black and white here in Teton County Coroner Dr. Brent Blue's signed report. Death by manual strangulation, throttling.
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
That adds new information into the timeline. Gabby's body was discovered on September 19th, and now we know, according to the coroner, she was killed 3 to 4 weeks earlier. And while the coroner would not talk about the investigation or Brian Laundrie, he did make a comment about domestic violence.
Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence.
After the coroner's announcement, Laundrie family attorney Steve Bertolino released this statement. Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. Also today, Northport, Florida city crews boxed up the Gabby Petito Memorial that's grown over the last month near City Hall. A more permanent memorial is in the planning stages, and all of these cards, candles, and stuffed animals will be taken to Gabby's family. And in response to the Laundrie family attorney's statement, Gabby's mom said tonight that his words are garbage. You just have to imagine what Gabby's family must be going through right now, learning about her cause of death. Marnie?
I cannot imagine, Brian. What about the FBI? Are we hearing anything from them tonight in response?
Absolutely nothing. They have been silent, which has been interesting because it was the Teton County coroner who sort of had this press conference on his own. The FBI and the U.S. attorney were both not part of it.
How about the search out at the reserve, that swampy reserve near where you are? Did that continue today?
We haven't seen any search crews out there the last several days. We know the reserve was back open, at least for a brief moment. It's obviously very large, 24,000 acres, so they could be searching in an area that we haven't seen, but we haven't seen any sign of police there.
Brian, the other thing I'm curious about, and I know people at home are as well, is what is happening in that house behind you? What activity took place today? Have you seen the Laundries come out? And also kind of set the scene for us outside that house. What's going on?
Well, it's been relatively quiet here today, even with the...
So that was yesterday. I'm just going to skip forward now to today. Katrina, thank you for joining the members. Appreciate that. And really quickly, just want to say, Amy, thank you for the super chat from yesterday. I missed 2 people. Dog the Bounty Hunter just released a comment. Yeah, we're going to watch that too. Dog the Bounty Hunter just sent you an article. Thank you for all the help and welcome to being a mod. Appreciate your support. Jin, I'm scared they're going to use the hearing voice thing to claim he's not mentally fit for a trial. That would be interesting if they did. I'm sure they would try anything. Jerlyn from this morning, thank you. Good morning. Thank you for all the good coverage you do. Have you looked closely at the pool? Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, I've heard that's just a pool, like a pool pump. Trying to get myself together this morning.
And to the case out of Scottsdale, Arizona that we did last night about the investigation.
Creepy out there. So this was about 2 hours ago.
Any reaction to the autopsy results? Do you have anything to say to Gabby's family as they're dealing with learning about the autopsy results?
Has he ever tried hurting Gabby in the past that you know?
Why the gas can? Why are you getting gas?
What's up with the gas can, huh? Planning something? What's up with the gas can, huh? We're watching you.
Surprised when you heard the news, or is this something you expected?
Mr. Laundrie, why aren't you saying anything? Is there anything you want to say to Gabby's family? Do you know where Brian is?
I wonder how they hold up without talking.
Why the gas can?
Yeah, what are you planning on doing with it, man?
Where's Brian?
I bet you before they saw him mowing the lawn,
Will you be going back out to the reserve?
the sleuths were going
Have
crazy.
you been in touch with Brian?
Are you just going to stay quiet forever?
Damn. That was that portion. We're going to check out the other clips. Virginia, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Stephanie Hell, interesting. Coroner said domestic violence. He may be first to actually blame Brian publicly. I didn't take it like that. We actually had a good conversation last night about it, or yesterday about it. But some people did. I've seen a lot of comments about that. I just took it as, well, I mean, he could be kind of somewhat confirming it, but I don't know. I mean, it's clear that there was domestic violence. I don't think he needed to. They had domestic violence issues, you know, from all the video and stuff like that, and arguments and instances they've had. So I guess a little bit after, you see him mowing the lawn today. This is from Brian Entin on Twitter, by the way.
Good morning, everybody.
I saw that picture you're talking about, Geraldine. Thank you for the super chat. She says, a pic Cassie took of Brian and his kids while camping. His arm is visibly bruised. I don't know if the pic I saw was Photoshop. Maybe it may be worth it to look at. I saw that. If I can find it, I'll try to find it, because I was looking on Twitter. That was Photoshop. I mean, I don't know what, because you can see his eyes are all red too. It's these people photoshopping things. I guess the attempt was to try to show his arm clear, but in doing that, everything looks like the contrast, it seems like, and everything else is bumped up. Somebody posted the regular picture under it on Twitter somewhere, and his arm didn't look all crazy like that. So I'm going to say that it didn't look like he was bruised. In the picture that I saw, it looked like it was like a Photoshop enhancing. But if I find it, or if somebody wants to send it to me so we can look at it together, for sure, I'll take a look. Care, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Hey, dolls.
I know all the Aussies normally are on
Aussies.
this time of day.
That's why I guess Katrina's here. Got some of the other people that normally can't make it here.
There you are. Yeah, so the update this morning is, after not leaving for days and days, this morning about, I would say it was maybe 45 minutes ago, Chris Laundrie left in the red truck. He was gone for just about 15 minutes, and he returned with a gas can, like a small gas can. If you look at my Twitter video from a little while ago, 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, I tried to ask him some questions as he got out of the truck and went inside, but as normal, he didn't say anything. He kind of moved some of the flowers by the front door, and then he went inside the house, but didn't answer our questions. A lot of you have been commenting, and I'm thinking you're probably right, that maybe he got gas for the lawnmower, since the grass has been getting so long over the last month. So that could be something he's planning to do today, but we'll just have to wait and see. So that's sort of the update this morning. I mean, he's going to have to mow the lawn because it's getting, I mean, it's really, really long, unless he hires someone to do it.
And I would have just hired somebody to be walking out there.
For those of you that weren't following along yesterday, a lot of developments yesterday with the coroner. The Teton County coroner released the official cause of death, which was strangulation. He also said that Gabby was likely killed 3 to 4 weeks before her body was discovered. So that was a new...
I'm laughing at the chats, by the way. Some of the people with evil intentions will play what's playing in the background and me laughing and be like, you see, he thinks it's funny. I'm just seeing the chat.
Piece of information that we didn't have. And he really wouldn't give more details in terms of all the questions about the investigation and the toxicology report and more details about the autopsy. He said that he was not going to release any of that because of the ongoing FBI investigation. But he did say, there were a few other little nuggets that he gave out. He did say that the FBI took DNA from the autopsy, so that was new that we got that officially. I mean, we kind of expected that, but he did confirm that. He also made one comment at the end, which I tweeted. He was asked sort of generally about the case and, you know, all the media attention, and he referred to it as sort of a circus. Obviously, you know, it's a small county, Teton County, so I'm sure they're not used to this kind of, you know, attention with a case like this. But what was interesting is he also referred to the case as being a domestic violence case, which was obviously interesting. So I have all that stuff tweeted, all those videos.
Yeah, so people think he...
Someone's asking, have I ever seen the garage open? I saw the garage open when they did the...
People think he alluded to domestic violence, like that it would... I mean, we all knew that, but as far as like the coroner saying it, I guess indicating that he's like pointing towards Brian, which I think strangulation leans more towards Brian, obviously, you know. And we had a really some good calls yesterday, and one of the callers said that, you know, because we're talking about why release this now, you know, after all this time, and, you know, if they were going to maybe not release it. And he was saying that maybe if somebody's helping Brian, that maybe they'd see that, and if Brian's been lying to his parents or anybody else, or if somebody's helping him, maybe they'll see that that's aired and be like, holy crap, strangulation, that's not good. That's not the story that you told to us, you know. But apparently they seem kind of not bothered, just going about their life.
The FBI search warrant, which was, you know, several weeks ago, the day the FBI was out here searching the whole house for several hours. They had the garage open that day. There was a lot of stuff in the garage, which I think is why they don't park in the garage. It looked like they used it for storage.
Yeah,
good morning, everybody in Australia.
Australia.
I think they might be working on another 60 Minutes episode in Australia on the case, from what I understand. So Gabby's parents, some of you are asking, have Gabby's parents said anything? Their attorney released a statement yesterday after the autopsy results were released. I have to go back and look at the statement, but basically saying they weren't going to be commenting right now. Gabby's mom did respond to the Laundrie family attorney's statement yesterday, basically saying that it was garbage. I saw she did that on Twitter. Nothing new with Cassie. My interview, some of you are asking about my interview at Channel 5 in the UK. Yeah, that went well. That was last week, I think it was. It's kind of, everything's a blur now, but I think that's not airing for a couple months. So. So some of you are asking if we expect protesters today. The protesters weren't here yesterday, so we don't really know. They were here almost every day, and then they haven't been here for They weren't here yesterday. They told me, I think they're taking a different approach because some of the neighbors were getting so upset with the bullhorns, so they've sort of quieted down a bit.
Oh, thanks, Hannah. Let me take a look. I forgot to pull that up.
Yeah, I can tweet out a timeline about the 3 to 4 weeks thing that we learned. I believe that was the week of like August 22nd through the 27th, 29th, something like that. I have to look at my notes that we now believe she may have been killed based on the new coroner information. There was a lot going on that week that we know. That was the week when Brian Laundrie was hitchhiking alone. That was around the time that Gabby's mom says she received a very strange text from Gabby that she questions were even from Gabby. So it fits right into that week. Yeah, the coroner info does seem to fit the timeline. Yep.
It does, yeah.
I did see that some of you were asking about the video with the shadow of me. There was a shadow behind me in one of my videos here at night. I have to go back and look, but I think it might have been my shadow.
The sleuths on the case. It was Brian watching Brian Entin. Thank you, Hannah, for the cash app. Appreciate that. Gracias. And Adrian, thank you for the cash app, and thank you for the call yesterday, man. Appreciate that. Great call.
The dog out here. Hey, buddy. Have a good day.
You too.
Carol and Denise, thank you for the PayPal. Appreciate that. Gracias. Well, in this video, this guy comes out.
You were asking where's the FBI searching now. We're not really sure. There hasn't been a lot of action at the reserve the last couple of days, so we don't know what they're up to right now.
Yeah, the Tanya, that bridge thing, a couple people messaged me. They said that was posted by, I think, Brian or Gabby themselves. I saw somebody sent me a screenshot.
There is still some other media here. Yeah, not very much. When the dad left this morning, when I questioned him, it was just me and one other reporter. I did. So I was out here last night when the people showed up knocking on their door. So I was actually in our car putting my story together. So by the time I heard it and ran out, it was pretty much over. But the police did come very briefly. So basically, like a couple people banged on their door, but that was about it.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about the letters too.
No, someone's asking, is there a mower going in the backyard? No, I don't think they're mowing. I think he may have already mowed the backyard, actually, like maybe a week ago. But no, there's no mower now. I don't hear anything.
They actually posted a letter on Twitter. We're gonna read it. Check the flower bed. We're gonna talk about that too. That image from yesterday apparently was real.
Some of you are asking how long we plan to stay here. You know, I don't know. It's kind of been a week by week thing. I mean, we'll definitely be here for all of this week. We don't have any plans to leave. I mean, we were hoping to stay until, there's some kind of resolution or Brian Laundrie is found. And, there's still so much that's not been figured out. So
I come out like at 3 in the morning.
There's no
to mow the lawn.
Marked police cars out here that I see. But that doesn't mean that they're not watching the house. I'm not really sure. I know I live in Miami. Those of you asking if I live locally, which is about 3 hours from here. So I was here for like 20 days straight. But then I started going home on the weekends just because, to see my family and have a dog and all of that. So I'll probably go home again this weekend, just on Saturday and Sunday, but I can always, and then someone else from News Nation comes and covers me for the weekend just to kind of babysit the house in case something happens. And then I come back on Monday morning. A lot of you are asking about Cassie. I mean, I've tried to talk to Cassie, and it's just, I can't remember if I texted her yesterday, but I definitely did the day before. Someone's asking if something happens at the house and I'm not here, does someone call me? Yeah, so if I leave, we have someone else, a photographer who is here just watching the house. So he calls or texts me if he thinks something is happening and I can rush back. It's not raining today. It's actually kind of a nice morning, but it was raining a lot yesterday, that's for sure.
All right.
Someone's asking about the dad's demeanor. You know, I've noticed just my own feeling from being out here and questioning the dad a bunch when he goes in. Like, I feel like it's a little bit more lately of a, I don't know if I want to say sad, but I don't know. He seems to be moving a little slower. The other night, it actually seemed like he paused for a second and was maybe going to answer one of my questions. Whereas in the beginning, it felt like him and Roberta would just kind of like quickly shuffle inside. I feel like maybe they're, I don't know. I just get this sense like they might be feeling a little more inclined to say something or a little more beaten down by all of this coverage and everything happening with the case, but that's just kind of my feeling. Yeah, some of you are saying it looks like the dad's gonna snap. Like, yeah, heaviness. That's a good way of describing it. Like a heaviness.
Breaking news. Mowing the lawn.
Yeah, some of you asking if the little memorial is still near the house. It is. It's right over here. So people still come out and leave stuff kind of on this corner of the yard. There were the laundry baskets kind of in the lawn, and they had that sign over here facing the house with a picture of Gabby. But the other night, like at 1 a.m., around then, Chris and Roberta came out and kind of cleaned up the front of the house. Took a lot of that stuff inside. Records requests, so we put a bunch in on Monday, but it was Columbus Day, so we got an email yesterday saying they were being processed, so we'll check on those today in terms of some of the new police reports we've been trying to get.
If you guys could hit like, I'd appreciate that, please. Thank you. Helps the stream.
Yeah, I've wondered, some of you asking if I think they watch these live reports and stuff. I have wondered that too. If they are, you know, I would really, I mean, obviously appreciate the opportunity to interview them. I'd be very, very fair, just fact-based. So I've told their lawyer that too, but so far they haven't done any interviews. Some of you are asking if I think he's planning on mowing the yard today. I don't know, but I mean, it seems like it would make sense since he got the gas can, and it gets very hot here during the day, and there's a little bit of a coolness right now before the sun totally comes up, so I was kind of wondering if he is going to mow, like soon, but so far nothing has happened.
Waiting on the moment.
A lot of you saying it's odd that they haven't talked. Yeah, I've sort of wondered if they came out and said something, I think maybe it would calm a lot of people down, kind of like what happened with Cassie after she spoke. You know, the protesters left her house, and it just sort of eased the tension a little bit. Yeah, maybe he's going to wait till tomorrow to mow. Maybe he just got the gas today. Like I said, it gets hot, like, you know, here pretty.
Let's just skip to that. A whole media crew on this guy.
Some point, sir?
How do you feel to know that Gabby died of strangulation in the wilderness of Wyoming? She used to live with you. How does that make you feel? Does it bother you that Gabby was strangled? Was your son involved in strangling Gabby?
It's so crazy to see how, like, it's just, you know.
Is there anything you want to say to the Petito family?
Thank you for the super chat, Vegan Plantry. My guess is the DNA collected at the Laundrie's house was used to match what was found under Gabby's fingernails. Thanks for the super chat, Mitch. How has this dad not snapped? I'm a pretty chill person, and even I would have lost it, especially if I didn't know anything about what happened. Jeff, he's waiting to go in and have a drink and call Donna. Yo, seriously, when I see these kind of things, I'm sometimes thinking to myself, like, I sometimes wonder, did this guy really call Donna? Like, all this crap that's going on, they got to be having like a drink or something. Like, I don't know how long they can keep going without saying anything. Excuse me. But yeah, they're just going about life like normal. And there's a whole press crew out there recording every moment of the lawn being mowed. Sasha, thank you for becoming a member. Make sure you check out Discord. Oh, Donna. Oh man, you guys. I'm gonna put out that video. I've been saying I'm gonna put it out, but so many people keep asking, who's Donna? What's the story? I'm gonna pull out the full clip. I think it's like 16 minutes. I think the only reason I haven't is because I don't want a bunch of people going to harass her and stuff. You know, just to like. Everybody's like, who's Donna? Donna is somebody that called Christopher Laundrie's number before it was disconnected. Left a couple of voicemails going off on him, I guess. And so he called back. She claims about 40 something times. Spoke to him like 2 times, making weird sounds. And then he allegedly left her a voicemail singing. It's pretty insane. I put clips on my Facebook page. I put small clips on my Facebook page, 3 clips the other day. Oh, Donna. Habit. I should play the clip. To get the full context, you got to see the full 16 minutes to get the moment, but I can play the clip. Let me find it over here. Plan Your Chaos says, at this point, would anyone even believe them if they say anything or answered questions? I highly doubt. Love the channel. Thank you, Player Chaos. Thank you for the super chat. I don't think anybody would believe anything they say. I don't think they'd garner any sympathy or anything like that. I don't think it would really even help their case, to be honest. I think with Cassie, it's a different story. And I think that someone helped them out and it brought a bit of peace to them. But everybody is kind of directly looking at the mother and father. Jessica Love, why is he mowing the lawn the day after the autopsy results? Mowing the lawn today seems heartless, in my opinion. The Laundries make things worse and worse. Donna is for reals. I think Donna really is. She really believes that she spoke to him. At first, I was thinking it was a troll, but the more and more I see the father, I was like, damn, maybe that really was this guy that called her, left that voicemail. Donna is for reals. Thank Painting Services by Steve. It's pretty wild that like there's a whole media crew out there for this.
Chris, your son's been missing for a month. Do you have any message for him that he can stand to do coverage of his disappearance? Would your son surrender to authorities? Do you have any comment for anybody?
Doug F says, imagine being so lame, you video a guy mowing a lawn. I guess everybody has their attention on them. Bro, and it's like 20 more minutes of this. I just want to see the parts where there's a couple times he gets up close. I don't think he ever answers anything though, but there's a couple times he gets up pretty close. And you at one point, because I skimmed through this before streaming, at one point he kind of gets really close to him and he almost looked like he was gonna talk. But then he just kind of kept going along. Scott Diaz says, you're awesome, Mel. Has anyone been able to look up records to see if either Brian has a firearm registered to him or his family? I haven't seen anybody pull up any kind of records. That's a good question, but I haven't seen any confirmation. Princess Unicorn. I'm not even going to say the rest. Now that the autopsy is out and ruled strangulation, do you think Chris and Roberta will sell their house and move out of state? I don't know. I don't know just because of the autopsy, but I'm thinking that's probably angered people. According to what somebody told me last night, Momo, she said a lot of people were very angry when that came out. And people are going to be showing up. Like, I mean, these people showed up last night. Let's take just a mini break because this clip is so short. Let me just show you this real quick. You see? There's a lot of crazy people in Florida that really they don't care, man. I would have dipped out if I could even try to place myself, which I wouldn't, but if I could somehow. I was talking to a friend about this last night. I'd go stay somewhere else, but the thing is, are people going to find out where they're staying? You know, if everybody knows their face, is it going to be even more dangerous if they go somewhere like at a hotel or someplace and then they get found? Are people going to confront them and approach them and all kinds of things? At least here, there's media 24/7 kind of thing. And so if something does happen, it's going to be recorded and witnessed and that kind of stuff. I mean, bro, all it takes is somebody on something, you know? Oh, hey, Latina. Let me catch these real quick. Janie said he missed the spot. Thank you for the super chat. KLC Lawnning and Landscaping. Let me just stop this real quick. 8 minutes. The Laundries called us to mow. We declined to service that house. Are you serious? Interesting. And I saw you could be saying the truth because somebody in the chat was talking about that. Because I said earlier, I would have just paid somebody to do this mowing the lawn. But they said people would probably decline their services. Latina, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, Mel, it is important for the media, including YouTube creators, to capture the callous and heartless behavior demonstrated by lawn mowing. To me, mowing the lawn is symbolic of washing their hands of any responsibility or connection to this murder. Interesting. Doug F., what is the end goal of harassing the family? I don't know. Beta lawn mowing. I don't know. I wonder if they're really just trying to get their life back to normal, and like they're just forcing their way to try to get back to normal, you know. But that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Check Messenger. Okay, I'll take a look. Oh. Somebody said team no bunker. Candace Cullen said some neighborhood kid could have made a solid buck cutting the lawn for them. That'd be $300. Probably so. Probably get paid good. A lot of people would do it for less. Lisa, thank you for the super chat. Dr. Phil should drop a group interview with Brian's high school teachers and counselors. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people keep asking, where's this guy's friends?
Claudia, Heather, can you bring the tripod?
He is kind of messy with the lawn mowing though, isn't he? Maybe he's just trying to like show out too, kind of like. Print ready, thank you for the super chat. He's probably praying in his head that Moore doesn't stall and die right in front of people shouting LOL. Imagine running out of gas right then. Oh my god. Can't imagine. I think lawn mowing just means long grass. Thanks Jeff Hepp for the super chat. Lily Shaw. Hi Mel, I think Brian's dad says it has nothing to do with me when reporter asked about Gabby during laundry baskets retrieval. Interesting comment. KCL Laundry and Landscaping, thank you for the super chat. Just want to say thank you for these streams and keeping us up to date. Appreciate your opinion on this. Thank you, man. Appreciate you joining kind of early today. Lots of bush to mow. Hey, Beaver. My Beaver's unit. I gotta fix this chat thing. I would have just paid somebody. But they're saying, somebody said, the KLC said they declined.
All right, I'm sure I'm going to get a few phone calls because I'm sure I was in all you guys' shots. Well, did you get my good side? I don't really have one. But
You didn't shave.
I did shit. It's kind of weird. She's going to trim it through all of those.
Oh, that would be interesting. Someone was saying, can KLC confirm Chris Laundrie's voice? The thing is, he was singing and it was all weird. The way I'm gonna play it for you after this lawn thing, the little clips. But I'm gonna have to post a full video if you guys want to hear. Everybody keeps asking about it, so I might just post it. Whatever happens, happens. Red Drum Media, thank you for the super chat. Been following you since Layla case. Keep up the good work, my dude. Thank you, appreciate that. Still waiting on an update with that. I would have mowed his lawn for $2,000. I think there's a lot of people here in Florida that would have done it, you know, for a lot less, $50. Yeah, I'll go out there. I don't care.
So I'll feed this up. Let's make sure he's not
I'm on the live stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
See if there's anything more.
Yeah, I don't know if he's just emptying.
Liz, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for keeping us up to date.
Come back.
Well, thank you guys for coming.
You know, back in this in the form
Yeah.
of the justice for Gabby.
Well, I was gonna try to ask him some more questions if we got closer here, you know, but
I wanted to see when he first comes out. I'm gonna see if that happened on the last video at the end. When this is over, just take a peek. Wyoming coroner threatened harassed during Gabby Petito presser. I think that's just the trolls in there. They were coming after the guy too, the coroner. They were calling him all kinds of names. That's crazy. People make the news. They got to be probably cackling. That's what happens with the trolls. When you give them attention, they love it.
That's why I said I told you that. You said what
There's supposed to be a John Walsh special coming out apparently. ID has announced a special airing Wednesday night, 9 p.m. August. Oh, wait, today's Wednesday? Oh, snap, tonight. You guys on Discord, if you want to watch it tonight, maybe that's what we can watch. I have that thing that I believe that's Discovery Plus, I think. Maybe we can watch that tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. Let me see what I missed. James, thank you for the super chat. It's crazy to think.
So he went in the backyard. I don't know what's happening now. He took the lawnmower in the backyard.
Let me read these real quick. It's crazy to think with all this new technology and traffic cameras, this guy disappeared and hasn't been found. Good work. Thanks for the updates. Yeah, it blows me away, man. And all that Carlton Reserve searching and I don't know how many millions. I think Molly said yesterday, like 3 or something, at least. M. Tyler, Mel, much love, peace, and health to you and your daughter. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being on here. Being on it. Mer. Thank you for Sharon. Thank you for the new membership.
Yeah, I'm reading all the comments.
It's the same thing, iCkEdMeL on Facebook. I'm going to be posting more clips, hopefully, from the streams for people that miss it on Facebook. Thank you, Sharon. Appreciate the super chat. Thanks, Mel, for being here for all of us. On in. He's in the back taking double shots. Oh, Discord? Yeah, let's do that. Let me put it in here. I have 2 admins on Discord to helping me out now. Hopefully the link still works. That link should work. And there's rules on Discord too. Be sure to read it. I gotta update the rules a little bit. But
yeah, I might get off here because I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We had our chance to sort of ask him questions, but it doesn't seem like he's gonna answer them. He seems really focused.
Unfortunately, the Laundries will probably get a book deal after this. Beach Girl. Oh, I spoke to if I have time at the end of this, I'll call my private investigator friend. He told me something about a show in the works, but I don't know. I'm gonna see. Not a show or a movie or something. I think a movie maybe. I don't know. But it doesn't surprise me. CNN, for what it's worth, said a while back that
I think he's in the backyard.
They wouldn't be surprised if they did a show or something in the future, or like a Lifetime thing or something, like a documentary or movie or whatever.
Okay, well, I'm gonna get off here, but it looks like about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the yard's mowed.
He's just gonna leave it like that. It's a message. Discord link not working?
Oh, he's back. Never mind.
Let me give you a new link. He's back. We'll put a new link for you guys. Might have expired. The Streamlabs is a bot too, guys. I gotta find a way to tweak it a little bit because sometimes it removes people's chat and it shouldn't. But it's a bot. Somebody yesterday on the live stream, I saw that after yesterday's afternoon stream, somebody was like arguing with Streamlabs, like they were tagging him and going back and why'd you do this now? Why are you doing this to me? But it was after I ended and I was reading the chat and I'm like, it's a bot. It's not gonna answer you back. But it's good though. I mean, you know, good. I think it's him. Like he's doing something personally. So yeah, blame Streamlabs. No,
Do you need me to
not
move?
a problem.
Okay.
They were pissed, yo. They were going back and forth with that thing. Or trying to. Amber, I think the parents just look super guilty now. Thanks, Amber. It was kind of funny, man. Oh, Lord. I just shook my head.
Is there anything you want to say to Brian, sir? If he's watching, is there anything you want to say?
You want to step in? I can get you. It's you. I can keep that going.
Okay. Is there anything you want to say to Brian, sir? If he's watching, is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want people to know? I mean, you and Roberta haven't said anything.
Get some shot to you.
It's all good. You got my questions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
I got you in there.
Just so sweet. Thank you for the super chat. Says, keep up the awesome job, Mel. Do you think people will now put the Moab couple killing to rest now that we know Gabby was strangled? I'm gonna read that again after. This guy just said too, he was like, he should have just hired a landscaping company because it's a hell of a job, and it is. It would have been so much faster probably if he would have just paid somebody, but I never seen nothing like this. Lord Almighty.
almost seemed like he was going to talk for a second over there. Like,
it did seem like he was going to talk. He was about to. It seemed like he was getting to him.
But everyone here, just something doesn't. He came and just he tells us all to fuck off.
So interesting.
Where's your son, Chris?
Is there anything you want to say to Brian? We're all right here right now. Now could be the time.
Oh, he did, yeah. What was that part? Is that coming up? He did trim up the memorial area. Did we see that already? I saw it earlier when I was skimming through. If you guys could please hit like, I'd appreciate it. It helps the stream a lot. Helps get the stream moving out. The repositioning. Good morning. You gonna come back? Code 4, code 4.
I'm just going to move my car real quick.
You want me to move?
I don't know.
Pretty soon when the sun starts to come up. You know, that was... But we'll keep you up.
That was the mowing the lawn. Breaking. Now, Dog the Bounty Hunter yesterday put out this message that I saw on Josh Benson's page. He had some words for Brian Laundrie. Oh, let me read the super chats real quick and then we'll get to this. By the way, thank you guys so much for joining me early morning, random. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for the likes to people, for the people that hit like. Still I'm gonna need some more caffeine. Stacy, thank you for the super chat. Thanks, Mel, for your coverage. Hope your daughter is all better. Oh, and just so sweet. Keep up the awesome job, Mel. Do you think people will now put the Moab couple killing to rest now that Gabby was strangled? Now that we know Gabby was strangled, I don't think so. You know why? Like, to me, like I said, the official said it's not related. We don't know how they came to that conclusion. I also spoke to Kylan Schulte's father. We did 2 interviews on this channel. I spoke to the father when I asked him on the second one, because I didn't want to make the first thing about Gabby, but on the second one I asked him, and he said that that's what they told him, but they don't know how. He doesn't know how they came to that conclusion. To me, I think that situation, now that we know that Gabby was by strangulation, that it separates it more. But when I was talking to a friend of mine last night, he was like, oh, but it was 2 people. So maybe he had to shoot him because it was 2 people. I don't know. I think the MO was pretty different from Gabby's situation. But I think that there is still going to be those people out there that still believe it's connected. For me, I mean, I know about the whole Moonflower Cooperative and all that kind of stuff. I feel like there needs to be more, though. More than that. But thank you, though. Thank you for that. M. Tyler, great chance for all to see the Laundrie's landscaping skills. Seems like they are more concerned about their yard work. Mir. Zybe Zane, people overreact. Chris Laundrie doesn't have to talk. It is his constitutional right, as well as his right for a lawyer, which you can't take away. Sure, they don't have to talk. Valerie, probably with all the bribes and money they have spent to make sure Brian is not found, they are running low on money. This is so sad, no remorse. The Dre Effect, good morning, Mel. You think he's more pissed Brian isn't there to earn his allowance than being watched mowing his lawn? Bella, I wonder how the HOA is putting pressure on the Laundries to mow their lawn and remove items from the lawn as a tactic to force them to leave the house. I don't know that area, but I don't think there's, is it in a thing like that where it's a HOA thing? I don't think there is. It could be, but I don't think there is. Ekme, we should do a play-by-play of the mowing and reporters movement. Someone needs to send a truckload of melons to their front yard. Oh Lord, don't say that, man. People are gonna show up. Send this stuff out there.
The coroner's report isn't good for the entire Laundrie family. Right.
Let me crank up the volume for you guys. A little low.
The coroner's report isn't good for the entire Laundrie family. Brian's only chance is to turn himself in. He cannot run forever. The Laundries have stonewalled Gabby's family because they knew what Brian had done, and it looks like they've helped him run. And now it seems like, based on the report coupled with their behavior, they have more than likely acted and aided and abetted a murder. Strangulation is not an accident. Strangulation is not an accident. It looks very bad right now for the Laundrie family. Brian, make a deal and turn yourself in now. The coroner's report isn't good for the entire Laundrie family.
That's Doug the Bounty Hunter. And what's weird too, I guess supposedly he was going to leave to I think Colorado, and they were saying supposedly, I guess due to injury. But it says here, according to Josh Benson, Dog also said he decided to stay in Florida and had a change of plans and couldn't bring himself to leave. He confirms he is still on the search here in Florida. Still on the search. Dog the Bounty Hunter. Let's play this as well. We've played this before, but this is Shelby. Shelby has one of the best timelines. And this is where we're going to get to the letter as well, the neighbor's letter. If you guys were here yesterday, they were talking about that letters had been sent to the neighbors of the Laundrie family. And I think this...
July 31st.
Let me play you this audio. It's kind of weird. Somebody sent me this today. I don't know how they got this, bro. I don't know where this came from. But apparently it's like the recent transactions you paid.
Check recent activities. There's a total of 5 transactions. All of them have been posted to your account. Here they are. August 17th, a payment of $167.38. August 14th, $167.38 from Frontier Airlines. July 31st, a payment of...
Let me play you this audio. That was interesting. She was lining up the dates. I played the audio on here before. Somebody, I guess, logged into the account and played the recent transactions, and you can hear the flight transaction. I also saw somebody in the chat state that there is a HOA. Okay, so there is then. The other thing, let's talk about the neighbors. Let me fix my audio real quick. I'll blow out your speakers. This is the neighbors situation, okay? This is one of the letters I saw. This is on Shelby's Twitter. Do the right thing. These letters were mailed to the Laundries and their neighbors. The envelope to the neighbors also had $20 cash for coffee and donuts. Officers with Northport Police have since collected the letters and cash. Neighbors did not know who sent it. I would have kept the cash. Dear Chris and Roberta, I mailed your neighbors $20 to help cover the cost of coffee and donuts. It has been my experience that those who make light of crimes probably have history of other crimes. I have no TV and no social media and live in the Bigfoot country. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Do the right thing. And he put the FBI. Sincerely, the Laundry Princess. I don't know, bro. Those neighbors getting all kinds of stuff out there. Bro, do you see this comment? Hold on a second. I think the Laundry Princess is the PA woman. She started the laundry basket thing. She called in yesterday too. Whoever was here. So that's what the letter situation. And by the way, Shelby has the best timeline I've seen anywhere online. Oh, another thing. Another interesting tidbit. I don't even know what to make of this. Hold on a second. Sorry, I meant to post this photo with the first one. Okay. I don't know if this has any credibility. Just, what's been deleted? Maybe I shouldn't even say it then, huh? Shelby's watch. No, I don't know why it says that. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let me read this. Hearing Gabby Petito was killed by strangulation breaks my heart even more. I came home one day to Brian slapping the ish out of her on the front lawn and grabbed her throat. I called the police. They did nothing. I knew it wasn't going to end well for that sweet girl. This was posted yesterday. I don't know if there's any validity to that or not, but just an interesting piece. I mean, I wish there was more information. Maybe I could look her up on Twitter and see if she posted anything else real quick. Some more context, like when was this, like where. Oh, her page is private. And here's another thing that I thought was kind of interesting. Can I get it bigger? You can kind of see it. It says, I've texted your dad under Bizarre. This is under Brian's Twitter page. I've texted your dad, but I guess Christopher blocked me. Everyone knows about your nasty temper. Tell him about the time you choked her out. Don't worry, Skeletor, we know. It has like almost 1,500 likes. I don't know, man. Kind of interesting. Is there a history? Everybody's wondering, where's the people around these, Brian? Who's the friends? Who's all these other people? Have they never seen anything? And now you're seeing these little weird comments kind of popping up. And yesterday I meant to play this clip also. I forgot. But this whole supposedly Laundrie's sister, Cassie, was threatened, or they had some sort of threats. But this was before I think everybody showed up at the house. Let me see.
Deceased fiance, Gabby Petito. He's wanted for bank card fraud, while authorities have not released evidence linking Brian to Gabby's killing. As the manhunt continues, many are angry at Brian and his parents.
What you're doing to the Petito family is wrong.
The trouble stretches to the home of Brian's sister, Cassie Laundrie. Records obtained by 8 on Your Side show Manatee Sheriff's deputies have dropped by the home numerous times in a span of 2 weeks. The first call for help came 2 days after Brian was reported missing. According to the calls for service log, on September 19th, Cassie's husband James said he was getting, quote, messages from random people, threats about killing his family and kidnapping his kids. Following the threats, deputies periodically checked in on the family. On October 1st, there was a call about suspicious circumstances. Officials investigating and dismissing a possible Brian Laundrie sighting. Then there's a disturbance from the protesters.
Police, we're not supposed to talk to anybody, and you're making my children cry.
Video shows a small group confronting Cassie and her husband. Former FBI agent Dr. Brianna Fox says each time there's a false sighting, a trespasser, or a threat, precious resources are pulled away from finding Brian and potentially solving this case.
Anytime that there's a death threat made against somebody, law enforcement takes it extremely seriously. It is illegal, it is irresponsible, it is extremely harmful, and on top of it, it's going to just make finding the person who's responsible for Gabby Petito's murder that much more difficult.
So we requested the calls for service from late August until now at Cassie Laundrie's home. Meantime, even
Now, there's a couple things I wanted to do. I think the private investigator, I don't know if we should just do a separate video or if I should just call him. What I was going to do right now is play the Donna call. We can just play the full video. It's on this video, this FBI at Brian Laundrie House on my page. And if you scroll to the bottom, there's a timestamp.
Well, who is this? And I knew you poked a.
Apparently, I did it wrong.
Sorry, I've got to turn.
You know, they're wearing full gear. I can't have water. Couple days, yeah. And nobody, they on a gator. By
the way, I got the email from Donna. She said she's spoken to. Let's see, me speaking with. Oh, Brian's dad. I would like to share what happened in. Thank you, Tracy, for becoming a member, and CC Orleans. Thank you. So. To result in me speaking with Brian's dad. What? All right, let's call this person. For the people that missed this was a moment. Let's see the mystery call. So for a little bit of context, somebody reached out to me. Her name was Donna. She was like, I spoke with Brian Laundrie's father, Christopher Laundrie. I was like, what? No. I was like, let's do it. Let's call this person and see what happens. Well, let me finish this, like 10 seconds or something.
You have a dead body out here on it, but I have 2 weeks to everybody.
It was a good video clip. All right, let's call this person and see.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for contacting me. So who is this?
Yeah. Who is this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've got to turn down my computer.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, my name is Donna Faulkner.
Okay.
And yeah, I've been following it, of course, like everybody else. So wanted to call and share my little experience.
Thank you. So who did you talk to?
Yeah, well, how it started, and this is in a nutshell, and then we can go into detail if you want.
Okay.
On Sunday, of course, I followed it. My heart, I've been frustrated and sad and all the emotions like everybody else. And on Sunday, when we all got the news that they found Gabby's body, I was heartbroken. I was pissed, and I wanted to speak up. And so I went online, found their newest wireless phone number, called it, and I left 3 voice messages in a row because he's got it set up to where it goes straight to voicemail. I can only imagine how many people have called that phone number because it's very easy to find. And so in my 3 messages, I held him accountable. I told him that he is a shame. I said, you are a disgrace. How can you not care about Gabby's life? How can you not care about a human being's life to not speak up? And I can't even tell you other things I said because it says to keep it good. So, I just pretty much.
You called Brian's number or his parents at first?
His parents.
His parents. So this is who you left the voicemails for.
Yes.
Okay.
And I got a call exactly 30 minutes back. I have all the records on my phone. And I'll tell you, before I tell you what I'm getting ready to say, I've already filed a police report with my police. And the police said, Donna, you poked a bear. And I said, yeah, I actually think I poked Satan, because he called me back within 30 minutes, and I picked up the phone and it said private number. Well, of course, he's hiding it, just like his son. They're all cowards. He called me back, and he honestly, and I'm not just saying this, he has a creepy voice. I don't know if he's an alcoholic, because he left me a voice message 3 nights ago, either 2 or 3 nights ago. He sounded drunk.
By the way, guys, the chat you're seeing on the screen is from the previous recording. This is not happening right now. So back then it was kind of crazy because we don't know who this person is. You know what I'm saying? Donna, she's a genuine person. She has a good spirit. You know, we laughed about this. Everybody in the chat laughed about this. You know, it's just so crazy to hear. But like the more and more that I've seen this guy, I'm like, I don't know, man. Maybe this guy was drinking or something and called her. We did verify the number that she called, and it was one of the numbers that was active, but the person called her back blocked. So I don't know. Donna's here, by the way, and I put her channel in the description, so the link to her channel is there if you want to check her out. But this just became just like one of those, I don't know, memeable moments on live.
But
you know, respectfully.
The first thing he said to me was this: who is this? And I'm going to say it just like I heard it. Who is this? And I said, well, who is this? And I knew exactly who it was. And he goes, no, who is this? And I said, no, who is this? And we said it one more time. He goes, no, who is this? I said, who is this? So we said that 3 times. And the first statement he said is this, and I'll never forget it. Well, I'm just sitting in the comfort of my own home while everybody's looking at me.
Wow. Do you have the voicemails like saved?
No, that's not voicemail. I spoke to him live.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the first call. And I feel that's important to share, just that statement, because that reveals what he thinks about everything. He is laughing. He laughed about it and said, oh, I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home while everybody's looking at me. And as soon as he said that, that just, you know, frustrated me, and I just started blah, 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 blah. I can't remember what I said. I was just pretty much attacking him, telling him he's a disgrace, and I ended up just hanging up on him. Well, long story short, since last Sunday, he has called me over 40 times. Over 40. I've counted every single time. My messages, I'm sure, triggered the heck out of him, because I just held him accountable. And I did speak from my heart in terms of caring about someone's life.
This is the current chat.
But I also told him he's a piece of you-know-what.
Did he leave you voicemails?
So he left one voicemail, and I still have it. I even put it on audio and video.
Are you able to send it to me sometime?
I will. I can send
Oh,
it
that'd
to
be
you.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to say this. This is what's really weird. Right when he first called me, he called me so many times the first day, over and over. And I picked up the phone, but I didn't want to talk to him because I didn't want him going to my voicemail so he could hear my name, Donna. So I kept picking up. And one time I picked up on the first day, and this is what he did. This is exactly it. I picked up, and he goes, like evil, animalistic, growling noises. Oh, no. You don't understand. We're talking dark, creepy house, okay? I picked up another time, and he did this. I mean, this is so freaking weird. I can't even believe I did poke this bear, but, you know, it happened. So I picked up the phone, and he goes like this. Evil, creepy noises. 3 different times I picked up, there were evil, creepy noises, and one of them was the growling.
Wow.
So
I'm just like, I don't even know what to say.
well, listen, I called the police, I called the FBI, I called Fox News, I called Tampa Bay News, I called so many different people just so they're aware of his mindset, that he is laughing and mocking all of us, quote, looking at him as he sits in the comfort of his own home. He talked about him. He didn't say anything about Gabby or Brian. He only cared about really him feeling guilty and shame and trying to act arrogant like he didn't care, that he was mocking everybody. Everybody's looking at me. I'm just sitting in the comfort of my own home. I'll never forget it. And so he's called over and over. I didn't pick up because the police told me just, after you told them to stop contacting you, let it go, if you did the legal thing. So the last time, well, I'll say the last time, a few calls ago, he left the first voice message, and it wasn't anything bad, but it was kind of creepy. I felt like he was, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
It sounded like he was drunk, and he was singing a song with my name in it to pretty much tell me I know who you are, just singing a song. So I'll send it to you. So that's it in a nutshell.
Damn. So you have a voicemail, and what else do you have?
Well, I have the voicemail, and of course, I have my call log that shows private number. Oh, and then another time, actually, I picked up, I think it was the first night, Sunday night, because the phone said unknown. It didn't say private number, so I thought maybe it was someone else. It was his wife. And the first thing she said that came out of her mouth, she said something like, is this Satan, or is Satan there, or something Satan, because I left, shaming messages, I'm sure. And as soon as she said that, I started talking over her and I just hung up.
That is so weird. And it was all from block numbers. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I will say this, when they kept calling from private numbers, and I was calling back, letting them have it on the voice.
So I'm going to skip to the part because this is kind of a little bit long. It's like 60 minutes, but I just wanted to play the beginning part. Let me play you the other two clips, the shorter clips on my Facebook page. Just give me 1 second. Let me just fix myself here. If I can. There we go. Boom. Clean that up later.
Smell after.
I'm going to call a private investigator too, by the way. But let me just show you this real quick. All right, part 2.
The phone, and he goes like this. Evil, creepy noises.
Oh, I played that already.
3 different times I picked up, there were evil, creepy noises, and one of them was the growling.
Wow.
So
I'm just like, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, can you play it one more time?
Yeah.
The voicemail. Bruh. I don't know, man. Crazy as hell. Get myself on the screen. I wanted to show you one more Dog the Bounty Hunter, and then I'm gonna call this guy. To get welcome back to iCkEdMeL, and we're gonna be talking. That was Jelani Day. I'm getting a bunch of people messaging me right now too, all over the place. Have we seen this? No, we haven't seen this.
That something happened. Of course, he murdered her. I think he called the mom and dad right from the scene and said, "Oh my God." Now, we have to remember that they lived, Gabby and Brian lived with his mom and dad for almost 2 years. In the house I was there, it's not a huge house. So I am sure they heard the parents heard probably Gabby screaming. I was told by a very close source that he was a gentleman. So I think he started, Mom, she was screaming, and I put my hand over her mouth, and I've heard this and seen this in court. And I held my hand there, and she kept screaming, and then she shut up. And then I took my hand away, and I was there, and she wasn't breathing. So I tried to use CPR. And Mom, Dad, I tried to do what I could do. Okay, son, get home right now. Now, in the beginning, I thought maybe that might have been it, okay? Until the timeline that Francie put together, every step they made. If it was an accident like that, the parents would have said, listen, this is Wyoming, one of the only states that still have the death penalty. The jury sentences the death penalty, not a judge. It goes to a jury. So I don't think a jury would put a man to death if he went to keep his woman quiet and he suffocated her. But woe unto him if he did anything else. That jury in Wyoming is going to hang him. Damn. I think that...
All right, let me call my friend. Let's see what's popping. Trying to get myself a little organized here. I got things everywhere. I need another... I have a little pre-workout. Let me call James here. He answers.
Gulf Coast Investigation.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. What's the latest?
We're just here kind of talking about a little bit about the strangulation thing from yesterday. Apparently the Laundries were mowing their lawn this morning. That was like breaking news, I guess. What else happened? Oh, some protesters last night also popped up on the house and started knocking on the door and just a bunch of different things, man. I wanted to get your thoughts. First of all, yesterday when we spoke a little bit, you told me, do you want to talk about the movie thing or something like that? Or
Yeah. My brother is an actor, a stuntman, and a movie producer out in Los Angeles. And he said that the number, and he's been doing it a long time, and nobody you would know, but he's one of the guys that got me into the television show Storage Wars. I was on that, and so he's always got something goofy going on out there. And he says the number of scripts flying around Hollywood right now for a Gabby Petito movie are incredible. And even though there's not an end to it, almost like the Casey Anthony type stuff. And he was contacted by a producer that wants to bring him in to read for some parts, and the number of actresses being asked to do this. But it looks like right now that the actress that's the one that's being sought after to play Gabby Petito, I think I said that right, is Kristen Bell. And he said that her name was on a script that he saw, and it's been floating around Hollywood now for about 10 days. So give it about another month and a half, and during Christmas time and just after all those goofy holiday movies, you're going to see a whole hell of a lot of TV movies about Gabby Petito. There's no doubt about it, or straight to Netflix type stuff. But it's on its way. It's coming, and I just thought that was incredibly wild already. I mean, everybody from Dog the Bounty Hunter to all the characters that are in it with all the different theories.
can you tell me, because a couple of days ago too, we had a conversation about Dog the Bounty Hunter, and you were telling me what, as far as the licensing, or like he couldn't do what he's doing in Florida, like if he came up across Brian Laundrie,
well, I'll tell you exactly what I'll tell you, and this isn't going to sit well with the masses out there that listen to these programs and things like this, but I'm going to shoot it to you straight. As of this point, okay, with all due respect, Dog the Bounty Hunter in the state of Florida has broken more laws than Brian Laundrie. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we got to look at facts. What is Brian Laundrie? What do the cops want him for right now? What is the actual, and I don't know, listen, 99.9% of the people that are in your community and follow what you do know more about this than I ever will, but I do know some of the facts. What is he wanted for? What is his arrest warrant for?
He's wanted for the credit card, the fraud charge.
Fraud charge, okay. Yeah. Let me give you the list of crimes that our buddy Dog the Bounty Hunter has committed in the state of Florida already. First of all, there is no such thing in the state of Florida as bounty hunting. It does not exist. You can be a licensed bail bond agent or a fugitive recovery. And listen, I don't want to come off like I'm on a soapbox for Brian Laundrie, but you got to play both sides of the fence. So I'll be the bad guy for a second, right? I'll stick up for OJ type of a thing. Okay. Brian Laundrie is not out on bond. He's not out on bail. He did not skip bail or bond. So bounty hunters, bail bondsmen, or skip tracers, whatever you want to call them, which don't exist in the state of Florida, but bail recoverment agents cannot be after a person that didn't skip bond, especially if they didn't break the bond that they set for the person. So right then and there, he's out of his league. He's not a licensed bail bond agent in the state of Florida. That's a crime. Number two, he is not a licensed private investigator. And what I mean by that is in the state of Florida, in order to be a licensed private investigator, which is where I got my education, you have to take courses either at a community college or have some sort of classes. The state offers them, pass those classes, then become an understudy under somebody for 2 years straight in order to be able to then go and apply to get your license in the state of Florida. Dog the Bounty Hunter is not a licensed private investigator. That rules him out there. Now, the other way to be an investigator in the state of Florida is to work for an attorney. So right now, if you wanted to go to a friend of yours that's an attorney and he or she says, listen, you're going to be my in-house investigator, but you cannot advertise that you're a private investigator and we can't advertise for you. You do not have to have any private investigating background in the state of Florida to be an in-house investigator, which means you're only a private investigator for the cases that come in for that attorney. Dog the Bounty Hunter is out there as well. He's not law enforcement. He's out there as well. So basically, he starts committing crimes, which are felonies in the state of Florida. So I made a couple of phone calls to ask how he's able to do this. And basically what they're saying is he's not. But since the FBI has taken over this investigation and not any of the counties that he is in, it's up to them to determine whether or not they want to place an arrest on him. And he breaks his ankle the day after the country music channel declines to pick up his show. If you notice Dog the Bounty Hunter, as he's searching for Brian Laundrie, he has got 3 or 4 cameras on him continuously. Now, being in a reality show myself like Storage Wars, which I hate to burst the bubble, is 90% horse shit. They place those things in there. They go through the lockers before. It's like professional wrestling. There's some legitimacy to it, but it's predetermined. I can see that going on. A lot of people don't see that. So technically at this point in the state of Florida, Dog the Bounty Hunter has committed more crimes than Brian has. The only difference is
just looking for him isn't a crime, though, right? I mean, just looking for him.
Well, looking for him how? If you're knocking on people's doors, let me give you an example. I had a case out of Mississippi a couple of months back, and it was a missing woman from many, many years ago. I am from Pinellas County, the Clearwater Beach area. I grew up in Clearwater Beach, Tampa Bay area as well. I had to make a phone call because I thought I found the lady working at a hospital in Pinellas County. When I started asking around in Pinellas County at the hospital, now I did this from Biloxi, Mississippi, where I'm a licensed, legally insured private investigator in one of the most easy states to become a private investigator because technically all you need is a business license. I was sitting in the state of Mississippi making the phone call to Pinellas County. And I called the person at a hospital and found out it was them. I found a missing person working at a hospital. Okay. And they shut the hospital down because they were nervous that I was going to come there and out this missing person. Everybody's on high alert. Schools, churches, hospitals, that's fine. I get a call from several detectives in Pinellas County threatening to arrest me. And I says, for what? I found the missing person. They're working in Pinellas County at a hospital, obviously under a different name, and I found a person that's missing in Mississippi. They said, you are not a licensed, bonded private investigator in the state of Florida. So the argument became, well, I'm not in the state of Florida, so am I not allowed to call to the state of Florida? I'm only allowed to call people in the state of Mississippi. So I had to hire an attorney. I had 2 detectives threaten to charge me with either a misdemeanor or a felony, and I wasn't even in the state. Dog the Bounty Hunter, on camera, went to the Laundrie house and knocked on the door. For what? What's he doing there?
I don't think it's a crime, though, right?
I'm sorry?
That's not a crime, though.
It's not a crime to knock on someone's door, no. But if you're knocking on their door with the anticipation of trying to find him. You had a lady on your show yesterday, and she went to the door. Not a crime. Mm-hmm. But if she was going to go hunt Brian Laundrie down, and she's going on national television saying, I found a pop can, and I found a beer bottle, and I found a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to get him, and I'm going to bring him back, that's illegal. So by saying that you're going to do it ahead of time is what puts you in the category of those. Will the police arrest you? I don't know. I think Dog the Bounty Hunter was a little too high profile. But that's kind of where it is. So, yeah, you're splitting hairs. You can roll the dice. But the bottom line is, and this is the problem I have with web sleuths and with advocates, which is another big word. These people are not private investigators. You need to be licensed and insured in order to do what you're doing if you're going to do that. And having a 501c3 and a nice Facebook page or a radio program does not give you the legal ability in Connecticut to go knock on doors. Now, you can pass out flyers, you can help, but you cannot actively pursue somebody in an investigation if you're not licensed. I think we see the difference.
Okay. All right.
It's not the fact that he knocked on his door. It's the fact that he knocked on the door with intent to trying to find him. It's the fact that he's out there knocking on other doors. He's going on every news station in the country. And listen, I was hoping he'd find him. I think that would be real interesting. What I have questions about through your community and you is what makes so many people think this guy's alive.
You think he's dead, probably?
I don't know. But I mean, listen, not only that, but no, I'll give you one other one. Not to filibuster on your show, but here's the thing. What irritates me is when I see, and this is your community is gonna be infuriated, but it's good talk, right?
Let's go.
Why would somebody? What do they think they are going to accomplish by going to a residential neighborhood and screaming at the top of their lungs at the family's home? Do you think in a million years that some lady from Philadelphia or New Jersey is yelling at the end of the sidewalk as to what scumbags these people are, and she may be right, that they're going to come out and say, you know what, Stacy, you're right. If you stop yelling, I'm going to go and tell you that my son's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's not going to help. Not that I care whether or not the Laundrie family is upset, but there's communities and people, and what if your kids had a school bus there? What if your children walk home from school and got to come through that? There is hundreds of people in that neighborhood that have nothing to do with this. I kind of feel bad for them a little bit, and it's not going to accomplish anything. I wonder what those people hope to accomplish other than just to vet.
Some of the people in the chat, they're bringing up the point. Did you see the whole Cassie thing?
Is that the lady that was on your show yesterday who's obviously from Toms River, New Jersey?
No, Cassie is the sister from the family, and the protesters were out there, and they were, trying to get their attention, and so Cassie and I guess her husband finally came forward.
I did see that. They're big, heavy set people.
Yeah, you got it canceled. Yeah. So, but they're saying that tactic worked, that they were out there and protesting, and so now she came forward and talked, and maybe that's what they're trying to do with the mother and father.
I see the point that you're making, but let me give you one more. And just to play devil's advocate, people went over to the sister's house, who then came out and said, we haven't even talked to our own family in weeks. If you're not even going to talk to their daughter, who isn't missing, and their son-in-law, who they don't have a problem with, do you really think they're going to come out and talk to some blogger or some radio host from Stanford, Florida, or from Miami, Florida, who happens to have a YouTube channel? It's just not going to happen. All you're really doing, you're really not helping. What I would like to see those people do is many different other things that could be used and that could be helpful in order to find how many people that do what you do. And I don't know a lot about it. And God bless you guys for doing it, because it's great entertainment. But you're one of the few guys, which is why I like coming on your show, that actually helps. I think you're one of the few guys in this industry that actually gets credibility for furthering some of these investigations, which is why I do your show and no others.
Thanks,
and I'll tell you this much. How many people have gone live from the Appalachian Trail?
Not that I know. I don't know. Yeah, I haven't seen any. Yeah.
None. If you want to go live, take your ass in your backpack, get on a bus, in your car, drive up to the Appalachian Trail, and start hunting him down up there. I'll tell you what, how come these people are only in the streets in Miami? Because it's nice there. The other thing that infuriates me is there's something about a bunker behind the house. They believe he's been there for several weeks.
Right. Oh yeah, the bunker. I got to get to that too. I forgot. Yeah.
You want to get into that now, because that even infuriates me more than people screaming.
What's your thoughts? Well, there's this thing. Okay, let me tell the people real quick. So there was this couple, I guess from Florida. They actually dug the holes. I thought this was a joke, but apparently it was real because I found the caption. It was in a Facebook group, and so let me just read the caption on the screen. Apparently they dug a hole to prove that you can be hiding under a flower bed. You know, the flower bed and the bunker thing has really taken people really. I think she was just trying to prove that you can do it. I don't know that she really believes he's there. But she said, just here to prove without a doubt you can dig a effing hole in Florida. So yesterday, 10/9/2021, I dug this myself. Only used my BF to show that a 6'3" full ass man can hide his entire body in it if needed to hide an entire nation to hide from the entire nation for a while. And by the way, this is in my Florida backyard, only 7 feet above sea level. Floods here all the time, swamps everywhere, all the same conditions of the Laundrie's backyard, which is actually 10 feet above sea level. So, I mean, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she said it took about 40 to 47 minutes to do it. And they literally went in a backyard and dug a hole in a flower and made this whole thing here.
I've seen that. Yeah. Let me tell you something. I played my high school football in Florida before playing in college in Georgia. And I can tell you this much. It was tough making it through a football practice with a helmet on. If you really think you're going to go out into the backyard and for any length of time, forget having to go to the bathroom, forget getting hungry, forget the massive amounts of bugs. I couldn't have a barbecue during the month of July in Clearwater Beach, Florida. We had to have them indoors. You know what I mean? If you really think that you can live under a flower bed and the cops, by the way, aren't going to see you, well, then God bless you. I think these are people with entirely too much time on their hands. Now, I have found people in just to further the conversation, I have found people in far more weird situations. I had a missing teen that the family couldn't find, and when I went into their house, I heard something in the laundry room, and they had hollowed out. It wasn't the family's home. I apologize. It was the home of somewhere we thought the girl was. When I took the family over there, we found out that she had hollowed out the washing machine, and she was in the washing machine. Now, that was for a 30 or 40-minute period when the cops came by. So the cops come by. They're walking through the house. Hey, listen, look, she ain't here. And I says, what about the laundry room? And they said, there's no way she could be in the laundry room. It's only a 12 by 16 room. We went in there, and I pushed the laundry machine, and it bounced around, and we picked it up, and she had put it over top of her. So, I mean, you can hide in those things if they're hollowed out. There's a million different places you can hide, but I'm going to bet you dollars to donuts he's probably not been laying under a flower bed in the state of Florida. I believe, and if you ask me a very good question, what I do is I never have a theory as a private investigator. I never put myself into theories, because if I say, hey, listen, I think he's in a cave somewhere in North Carolina, he's got somebody with him, then I pigeonhole myself into having to be right. I don't know. I would like everybody to tell me what they think, and then I'll pick the best avenue and start there and start crossing things off the list. The one thing about this whole story, and I would like to get your take on this, is when they were arguing, when they were both together, she was grabbing for a what? What was she grabbing for?
Which one are you talking about? Like
when they got into an argument, she was the NIST report said that she was arguing and fighting with him, and that several witnesses saw her try to grab his phone. Correct? We remember this?
No, it was that I thought he was grabbing her phone is what I heard.
Either way, somebody tried to grab a phone, correct?
He was grabbing her phone, yeah. He was going for her phone.
Why is that? Why would a guy, and listen, I've been in that situation. I've tried to snatch a couple cell phones in my life with ex-girlfriends, and there's only one reason that happens. Because
jealousy,
you think
some
they're
sort of
talking
jealousy.
To somebody else, correct?
Right.
Okay. So let's put this thing into the context that it needs to be put in. Let's take away all the people screaming outside. Let's take away all the cable television shows, all the bounty hunters, and all the knucklehead private investigators like myself that have an opinion. And let's look at what really happened here. You put two young adults who have put themselves out there on social media, a very attractive young blonde, tiny white girl, and a shithead-looking dude, and you put them all over the internet. This is before any crime happened. They're floating around out there in what, a 12 by 12 space? Okay, so now you've gotten two people that were probably having relationship issues previously. But a lot of people do. That doesn't make it a crime. And now she's out there on the internet. Guys are like, hey, listen, I think you look good. Why don't you holler at your boy, DM me, whatever the case. Somebody hit on her sooner or later. That is part. And then you take two people, you put them in that space, you float them around the country. There's frustrations. She's getting hit on that phone. She's talking to somebody possibly. Doesn't mean you should kill her. And not to mention, both of these two, which is the most interesting part of this whole thing that they're keeping from everybody, which is the toxicology, both of these kids were on massive amounts of medicine. Both of these two needed to take medicine, correct?
Supposedly, they said they weren't taking anything.
Yeah, that's probably the problem.
That's what I heard.
Now they're not taking their medicine. They're in a 12 by 12 space. They're cramped. It's a financial crunch. They're buzzing around the country, and he snapped. He snapped. It's very, very simple. The part of them reaching for the cell phone, I promise you, once they look into this, there is more people involved in this. And unfortunately, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but that's the part in this whole story that sticks out for me, because I believe that's where this is. I bet you dollars to donuts that somebody was trying to holler, and that was the catalyst that made him snap. I'm all the way out here with you in South Dakota sleeping in a van, and you're talking to Bill in Miami. Who's Bill? That's how this stuff starts. You know that as well as I do. Am I wrong? You tell me. Maybe I am.
No, I don't know. Okay, the phone thing, I mean, I've spoken to other friends about this too. I have thought that like he's probably jealous or something was going on. I don't know necessarily she was, maybe she was, maybe she wasn't talking to a guy. It could just be talking to friends. I had an ex that would get jealous just talking to friends, or I get an instant message or anything. I always thought it was weird for people to be searching other people's phone and going through it. It's just weirdo stuff. But to me, I think they've been having problems for probably quite a while. And they've been fighting multiple times throughout the trip, and to, like you said, to be in those confined spaces, and especially in a van and traveling. I mean, I couldn't be with somebody for like a week traveling. I don't even want to go on vacation really for more than a week, 2 weeks max, let alone be for months on the road in close quarters where if you get into a fight, you can't separate really,
Yeah. Well, and listen, I don't think anybody is surprised by the fact that you have so many female friends, the massive amounts of women that are probably DMing you, texting you, and calling you. I mean, any woman that's going to get into a relationship with you has to be able to fend off 30,000 other people out there. We get that, right? Right. I mean, so that's, but like a schlub like me who's kind of like an average looking guy, you know what I mean? If my girlfriend starts getting texted by some Joe Blow in Orlando, Florida, and he's like, hey, girl, I like them short pants you're wearing. And, hey, you look a little sweaty. You want to cool off? I'm going to say, let me see that phone. And what's the first thing anybody does if they're innocent? Here, look through my phone. I don't care. Go ahead. And I think she said, no, give me this. And then you put into the fact that these kids aren't taking their medicine, whatever that's supposed to be. Can I ask how old of a guy you are?
Me, I'm 30. I think I'm 37, 36, 37. I'm trying 36. To hang on to 36, but
I understand. I'm 44 years old.
Yeah.
And I also was an elementary school teacher when I first got out of college. When I first got out of college, I started teaching, would have been in the late 90s, early part of 2000, before my football career took off. And I'm going to tell you this much. I never saw a kid with a peanut allergy or with an egg allergy, or with any of the stuff that these kids are massively being pumped up with today. You want to know why all these kids are going missing and disappearing and running away and stealing their parents' cars? I get the calls every day for them. And I've been very lucky. I found Brian Smith out of Boise, Idaho in Michigan. I found Gloria Alvarado from Detroit, not far from her house. These are all people that are coming from affluent, good families. The problem is these kids are messed up. They're on so much stuff now that if they don't regulate it, if they don't take it, if they, what was the most that these people used to take before? Nothing. When I grew up in school, there wasn't this amount of issues. Well, there are now. And that's why we're seeing so much more of it. If you put somebody with bipolar disorder in a van with somebody who might be partially schizophrenic with a temper, Partner, after about a week, it probably ain't going to go well. You throw that in with the pressure of having to make a show, people wanting to watch it. You know, don't these people have regular jobs? You know, I mean, aren't these kids in college? I don't know. You know what I mean? I just know I was worried about a hell of a lot of other things at that point, and I've been lucky that, you know, I haven't had to get into that situation. But I've had a van. I have a truck camper. I use it on my cases. There's no way I'd want to be stuck in there unless it was with like Jessica Alba.
People are saying, "Are you victim blaming?" Some people are saying victim blaming.
I'm not victim blaming. That's a cop out. What I'm doing is I'm putting things into perspective. I'm not blaming Gabby Petito from being dead.
Petito too.
Petito. Yeah. What I'm saying is that people need to take account. Listen, at some point, you got to look at why this happened. And if you can't honestly look at why this happened and how it ended up, I mean, let's look at the result. The girl was choked to death. She was strangled to death. Watch the UFC for about 15 minutes and see what it takes to choke somebody unconscious just to win a fight. Do you know what it takes to choke somebody unconscious? Do you know how they figure that out, iCkEdMeL? Do you know how they figure that out? Because I've seen the autopsies. I've been in these situations where I've seen somebody who was choked to death with their bare hands. Do you know how they're able to tell?
I'm assuming by the broken bones. Or your
eyeballs pop out of your fucking
all right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, it's real simple. Your eyes pop out, blood vessels. But when you're in the woods for a month and they haven't found you, usually those are gone. So you can't tell that right away. My point here is it's extremely violent, and it's incredibly difficult to do to somebody you love unless you snap. And why do you snap? Because you're not on the medication that keeps you from doing stuff like that. You know, and I'm not blaming anybody here. I'm not blaming her for being dead because, you know, it takes two. But at some point here, you got to look at what the real root cause of all these explosive cases are. And I think that's what it is, you know. It just seems to make sense to me, but I could be dead wrong.
All right, man. Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh, what last final thing? Did anything else happen with the Gloria Alvarado situation? I know she was you helped with pretty much solve that case.
I'm a real estate agent with Rex.
She was found.
That was a big one. Gloria Alvarado's case was a big one, and I'll tell you why. Her family did everything right. Everything right. And it helped me a tremendous amount. The press they got, going on shows like yours and doing everything they could and never sitting still, and eventually that girl was found.
How did you find her again? Can you say how? Well, can you just really quickly go over how?
So what happened was Gloria Alvarado went missing from a cut window in Detroit, Michigan. She was a 15-year-old Hispanic girl. I have 3 types of private investigating missing persons cases I specialize in. People that go missing with a car, minority missing people. I graduated from a black college with a black history degree despite being a white student athlete at Clark Atlanta University, for all the people calling me racists out there. And I specialize in celebrity cases. Those are the 3 things I do. I don't do process serving or cheating housewives. That's all I do, and I get paid to do it. And I got a call that there was a car involved. One of my specialties is people that go missing with a car. So she was cut out of a window and she disappeared at 15. It all pretty much came down to the fact that her parents did not want her dating a black kid that lived down the street. He wasn't talking to anybody. Because of my background, where I played college football, he felt comfortable to talk to me as opposed to the cops. And I quickly figured out that he used an Uber or a Lyft in order to pick her up, which is why there was a second person in the car who wasn't coming forward, because they weren't paying attention to the case. They didn't care. They were working. So I figured out that it was an Uber or Lyft, and that he used 2 of them, and then went to a house that his grandmother only used because she was a snowbird and she was in Florida. So Gloria Alvarado could have hid out in that house that she was found in for probably 6 months, and nobody would have known because the electric was on, and once a week he would go over there and help her so that they could be together. So once I put all that together, I convinced a family member that if she could go get her right now and turn her in, this could all be over and probably nobody would be prosecuted. Police look for somebody, a missing person, in order to have an ability to prosecute the case if there's a crime, which is why a lot of people don't get looked for, because there's no crimes. You can get up and move right now. It wouldn't be a crime. So when I found her, it busted it up so bad they couldn't prosecute the kid. But that wasn't my concern. My concern is a repo man. I find somebody who's missing and I bring them home. It's that simple. It's the only thing I care about. I don't care about the feelings. I don't care about who I offend. I am going to bring your missing loved one home no matter what I do. And in 5 years, I've never not been able to do that. And that's what I was able to do. The problem is after it was over, the cops were left hold the bag saying, well, he brought her here, this person, we can't arrest anybody. Tough shit. You had 6 months to do it. You know what I mean? That's the difference in what I do and what police officers do. The police are running this slow because they've got to be able to put a case together to put somebody in jail at the end. Dog the bounty hunter was just out there looking for the guy to grab him. And that's the difference between a private investigator looking for somebody who does this full time and a police officer. Does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah, man. All right. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the call. Hey, we'll talk more.
God bless. And if anybody needs me, 813-993-2242. I love what you do. I respect you tremendously. God bless you. And if any one of your people have any questions, just give me a call. It's no problem. You're going to get me. 813-993-2242. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care, bro.
God bless.
Thanks. Oof. Yo, the chat was on fire, bro. I was reading it. I was like, holy shit. Maybe I should have gave him the disclaimer as last time. Let me get to the super chat. Somebody said to him, I'm unsubscribing. He solved with Gloria. How I met that guy, like over the phone or contact, was because he solved this case with Gloria Alvarado. I just thought it was really interesting that he solved that. But he is very, very unfiltered, and just a lot of people can't handle that online. Oh, they get very, very. So the last time I spoke to him, I was like, yo, just tone it back, because yo, that's even the conversation now. It was past the line a little bit, but that's nothing compared to like off air. But sometimes I like to hear people like that. There is no 3-minute limit because I called him personally. I know that person, so it's not like a 3-minute we're taking calls kind of thing. But I like to hear other people's thoughts. It does. I understand, like, people just want to hear the one thing, and we all have to be in the same tone. And if you think anything differently, we're gonna condemn you and damn you. We're unsubscribing. But there is people out there, just like the whole bunker thing, just like the whole flower bed thing. It becomes like a conversation, you know? And so, hold on, let me check real quick. Check this here. And the thing with him, which is kind of, see, this is the thing. I know a lot of people, they see the surface thing and that's it. But we were talking about, because maybe he could help out a family or something. He was talking about offering some free services to one family, maybe. That's why I bring him on, because I might be able to work something out with another family to have him help out, because he really did, regardless of how you feel and what he said or whatever. He's actually found missing people before. That's really what matters. Let me see the super chat. But I wouldn't mind at all, like, having somebody every now and then come on and give whatever thoughts, and then maybe have them help out a family or something. Let me see what you guys are saying in the super chats. The chat was going crazy. Okay, Donna has a YouTube channel. Justin, thank you for the super chat. She does. I put the link in the description. Dog shows more chest than I do. Janie. Vero, I think he could be hiding somewhere in the house. He could have been hiding when the houses was searched and returned after. This would explain a lot. Thank you, Vero, for the super chat. James just told a story about somebody that apparently hollowed out I don't even know how you do that, but hollowed out a washing machine or something like that. And the person was in there, but they weren't there for a prolonged period of time. Just when the cops came to search. Katie, that bruh, after she finished playing the voicemail, felt that in my soul. That was one of the craziest calls I've had. I mean, I've had a few. The hacker was really funny. Hannah, thank you for the super chat. Which video did you play of the recording? Which video did you play the recording of the bank transactions? And what day was a ticket purchase? Thank you so much, you rock. I'm going to play the clip for you right now. I have the audio here. I sent it to Shelby so she can have the audio as well. Stanny deleted the message. Thank you for the super chat. Dre Latina, please ask the caller to stop screaming at us. I don't know why his voice came so loud. Believe it or not, I even turned down the volume for you guys. I was negative 3 or 4 decibels or whatever it's called, dB. Celia, in Texas, families end up moving over high-profile cases because the public riots over their BS. Now national news. I live on the Appalachians Trail. Cell service is crap on the trails. Okay. Celia, they weren't even popular online. They were nobodies until Moab police video popped up. Celia, the BFF of Gabby was coming to visit them though. Guys like Brian don't want friends around to see his bad behavior. And that's the thing I was trying to say. I wanted just to let him talk because I try to let people get their point across. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that she was talking to some guy. It could easily just literally be friends. I had so many things in the past, situations, relationships that I've been in, nothing malicious, but to somebody that's super jealous, insecure, everything is something. Like every little thing is something. And I'm just there like, oh my God. You know, they even start looking back through your history. They're going years and years back into your profile, years and years into the comments. Well, who's this person? Who's that person? Well, why did they dislike it? Why did you say she's cute? Even before the relationship, they're like looking through every single thing. They're looking to see what you like, all kinds of, it's insane and insanity. So it doesn't necessarily mean that she was, you know, doing anything or talking to some guy. It could just simply be as a friend, or just completely being insecure, or even the social media thing. I spoke about this with somebody else. I know the feeling of like when you're starting a YouTube channel and everybody doubts you, your family. I mean, I'm not saying her family did, but family, friends, they look at you crazy. You look like a waste of time. I know what it's like when people you think would support you don't support you, but complete strangers at the time when they first meet you support you more than the people that you've known for a long period of time. I know the frustration of starting from zero, the grind, you know what I'm saying? And somebody, especially if you're with them, constantly doubting you, it's constantly causing issues with your relationship. Been there. I totally get that. Latina, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate it. Latina says the PI is dangerous. He admits to snatching ex-girlfriends and possessive. He has zero knowledge about whether Brian or Gabby were on massive amounts of medications. Yeah, I didn't hear about that they were on any kind of medication. I think in the second police thing that we saw, that they denied medication. I think what happened was she like self-diagnosed. They both clearly had, you know, it was a toxic relationship for sure. And toxic relationships, just in my experience, I'm not an expert, I'm just speaking from experience. At a certain point, you start doing and saying things that you normally wouldn't do. You start doing all kinds of stuff. You start becoming somebody you're not until you get out. Candace, please say goodbye. This man is being so disrespectful to Gabby's memory, inferring such things that he cannot know. Thank you. Katie said, I feel like we're being scolded. Something with the audio is just like, it reminded me of John Walsh when we had the clip sped up. Stop it. Sped up, and it just sounded like constant, like whatever. He's from old school. He's definitely from the old school. A lot of the things he was saying, I already knew when he was like, oh, the heavy set people. I was like, oh, shit. Canceled. Oh, my God. Hang up on this condescending man. Allie, thank you for the super chat. Randall, either she kept crying after the restaurant incident and Brian got tired and wanting her to stop, or she decided to leave and he couldn't take it. Wedding or engagement canceled before the trip. I think that just speculation. I think August 27th is probably the last day. Like, I think that's the day that things happen between them, because especially thinking about the timeline and when these people were picking up Brian in their vehicles and like he was hitchhiking, they didn't see Gabby. So I'm thinking on the 27th is my guess. And that's when the restaurant situation happened. I mean, that thing is, it's like there's just pressure building up. It's like a bubble just ready to pop when people are going at each other. And all they need is just be separated, have some time alone, you know, be apart. But at the same time, it was like, I guess like a codependency thing. She didn't want to be apart. Latina, if you want, I'll call you. If you want to give a little feedback. I don't know if you're busy right now, I can give you a call. Let me continue to read these and I'll see. Text me if you want me to give you a call. Randall, yeah, I read that one. TGOP, put this guy on your show again. I will not watch your show again. He is a fool. Dog has an investigator on his team. Oh, Shelly Owens, I can't take it. Love your show, and this guy is ruining it. Melon, this guy is ridiculous. Damn. Xanamax. He sounds like a textbook pathological liar. Likes to talk about himself. Hang up. Renee Hart. Thank you. Eric Med. Bunch of Karens out there. So many bitter people. Latina says this guy's. Okay, I'm gonna call Latina. This guy's irresponsible. He's not a physician. He's not licensed to diagnose Gabby or Brian. He has no clue what medication they may or may not have been on. He's a soapbox. His soapbox amount of pontification. Let's call Latina, because maybe Latina, she's gonna reflect what the chat is saying. Let's get the other side, the other perspective. Let me give her a call. Let's see. Let's see what Latina has to say. Give the other side of the. Let's hear. And she's an actual doctor. That's Amy. Amy Salerno. Mel, whose show is this? I don't know. I mean, I'm right here. You're watching me, right? Hey, welcome.
Hi, I'm a little
How you doing?
sick. Hi, it's Doctora Latina, and I am a little bit sick today. So if my voice sounds funky, you'll know why.
That's okay. No problem.
What would you
Hope
like
you feel better.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe if you want to talk a little bit about the last call, you can kind of,
Yeah.
or maybe just
Okay.
counteract a little bit of some of the things.
Well, I just think that I agree with you, Mel, that one of the wonderful things about you and your show is that you do give all comers an opportunity to voice their opinion. However, as a human being and as a female and as a physician, I do have to say that this guy, in my opinion, was outlandish. I mean, I was really flabbergasted. He not only was screaming at us, which is very off-putting, but he made a lot of statements. He broad-brushed the situation with Gabby and Brian, and he really inserted his own opinion about how he thinks things went down. And I hate the word victim blaming, but I am going to use it. If it's just about, basically at the end of the day, this caller, I don't know his name, and I'll just say this caller, essentially, summarized Gabby's death, as a result of being in a van cramped up for 2 months with her boyfriend. That is not why she was murdered. Number two, even I, who has appeared on multiple other true crime as my professional self
This is a doctor, guys. This is Dr. Amy Salerno.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Amy Salerno. When I'm just hanging out, I'm Doctora Latina, but I'm Dr. Amy Salerno.
Right.
So I've been on, many of the big wig ex or retired law enforcement, analyzing autopsies and talking a lot about the psychiatric aspects of people's criminal pathology and victimology, and also always with a disclaimer that I haven't met X, Y, and Z in person, but that I can speak for my 30 years as a physician and doing a ton of psychiatry. So I just wanted to put that on the table there. But I really do take pause with anybody, myself included as a physician, to say Gabby and Brian were bipolar, anxiety, OCD, and on a ton of meds and weren't taking them, and he snapped because and of course he wanted her fun. I mean, all of what this gentleman said was really irresponsible. That is my opinion. We just simply don't have enough information yet.
Right.
But what
I agree with that.
In terms of psychiatric diagnoses, medications, there's a lot of rumor around use of psychedelic drugs, etc. But
Are you
we
close
really
to the
don't
phone,
know.
Amy? Are you close to the phone?
Am I too close?
No, are you close? Because they're saying it's kind of low. I don't know if like, are you having me on speaker or headphones or anything?
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Am I better now?
I think so. Yeah, that's okay. I can turn your volume up. I just wanted to see so they can hear you
I'm
clearly.
literally, I thought I was screaming.
Oh, okay. All right. I turned it up a little bit more.
Can folks hear me? Did they hear nothing of what I said?
No, we heard what you said, but I think I just needed to turn it up some more because it sounded a little low.
I am on a speaker. I could go to my ear.
Oh,
if
yes.
you want.
Yeah. If
Hold
you're not on.
Hold on.
Okay. All right. Yeah, direct to the phone is the best, so it's like clear and stuff.
Hello, is that
Oh,
better?
yes. So much better. I think so, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I try to avoid putting the phone to my ear because I don't know what kind of like microwaves are going to affect my brain long term. You know?
Right.
All right. So, I just, God, I had something I wanted to say.
Any thoughts with yesterday? Like the whole, the strangulation thing?
Yes, I do want to speak to that, and that is that, it was unfortunate in a way because of our morbid curiosity. My morbid curiosity in the whole world to know many, many more details than just the cause of death or the manner of death was strangulation and throttling. But there were I guess there were three big points that the coroner, who is a well-reputed physician, by the way, sometimes the ME is just somebody who is not a physician, but this guy is really quite well known. And he did make three, I'm not even going to call them slips of the tongue, because I think he was very intentional about his slips of the tongue, which I appreciated. Number one, he did mention that, first, the manner of death, cause of death, strangulation and throttling. So the throttling piece is huge because that would take away from an excuse of we were having rough, intimate relations. I don't know if I'm allowed to use the SEX word on your live, but I think
everything was said in this stream. Yeah, it's okay. I think everything was violated just recently.
Everything was violated. I hope you don't get
That's all right.
demonetized.
No, that's okay. It's no big deal. It's big. That's why we got the members supporting and everybody else that super chat. That's all right. Yesterday's video got demonetized too. That's fine when it happens.
Bless your heart. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
So basically, we do know of cases where people inadvertently die because of asphyxiation during rough sex, and it is inadvertent. And I won't get into the whole.
I'm glad you brought that up. I know, we don't want to be disrespectful or anything like that, but yesterday when we heard this, people were saying that something along those lines in the chat, and people really took it kind of bad. But it was also I spoke to a friend and he was saying the same thing. I just don't know. So does that actually happen? Like, or is this a thing that, like the whole you said during sex, like is that something that could happen? Is this something that he could try to use? Let's say they ever pull him in.
Yes. Okay, let's kind of go back. Maybe sometime I could be the real, come up as a face and a voice.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, for people to see you.
I would love to. But, just to back up, there are two known phenomena, and this is not quite uncommon. This is not common, but not uncommon, especially in teenage boys and young adult men, that it's called autoerotic asphyxiation. And by decreasing the amount of blood flow to your brain by maybe, I don't even want to say the how, because I don't want to give anybody any ideas, but we do see this. A person can inadvertently, through their own autoerotic, meaning that they're pleasuring themselves, they can set it up so that they sadly die. Because when you decrease the amount of oxygen to your brain, it can be arousing at a certain point,
right,
and then it can be deathly or deadly. So people do that, especially we find that in young teenagers to young adult men do that in terms of a masturbation type of thing. And that is dangerous. And we tell people, don't be putting stuff around your neck to have an autoerotic experience. Now let's extend that into, two people. People do get into, and I'm not talking about S&M or anything like that, but some people do find by slightly putting pressure on the neck during sexual activity that is an erotic, it increases the erotic experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it is extremely rare that somebody dies that way. It's more common, we see it more common, honestly, in autoerotic, a mistake through autoerotic strangulation. Okay?
That's what you're saying when they're doing it to themselves.
Yes.
It's more likely for them to kill themselves by accident. Yeah.
By an accident.
Because the possibility of him doing it by accident is very small or slim. Like if that was the situation, because he could have just taken his hands off, right? Like once somebody goes unconscious, you could just take your hands off.
If you're a teenager or a young man or whatever, and you're doing this thing alone in your room, and a mistake happens, like a ligature or whatever, you can't undo it. There's nobody there to help you. Let us say that somebody's involved in a twosome. We'll just talk about twosomes, and they are involved in rough sex and some sort of mild asphyxiation as part of their sexual activity. That there's a second person there. And then people always talk about the safe word, having a safe word, and being able to say stop. That the person will be able to say stop, right? So that makes it much, much less likely for somebody to become asphyxiated and or strangled during rough sex. So while that is a possible excuse for this, Brian, it is, in my medical opinion, very weak defense, because it so rarely happens, number one. Number two, throttling was the second thing the coroner said. That is separate from strangulation. Throttling is when you take the whole head and neck and it's like a shaking baby syndrome, right? That's not something somebody wants to have done to them. So that is way beyond an excuse of rough sex, okay? So so that was like point number one that I found that was outstanding, that helped me as a professional to glean and get more ideas about the manner of death, and was the throttling piece. So I think folks might want to consider keeping that idea or that statement in their mind, and that statement of throttling is going to poke major holes in a defense of rough sex was the cause. Okay?
So it's very weak. It's a very weak defense, yeah.
Yeah. Number two, some people say it was a slip of the tongue on the part of the coroner. I think it was very intentional. But he said it so calmly, and he slipped it so gently into the presentation that he can't be accused of giving too much information. He said that Gabby and Brian's case has sort of captured the imagination of the world, but that there are many, 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 I'm sort of paraphrasing his quote, cases of homicide related to domestic violence that occur that never get press. So right there, he just gave up the ghost. Think about it. He said homicide. He said Gabby and Brian, or Gabby's case, and it captured the fascination or whatever, but with so many other victims of murder, homicide related to domestic violence never get heard. So right there, boom, boom, they must, obviously they have far more information that they're not allowed to give because of the law of Wyoming, but also because of the investigation. But clearly, come on, man, they're saying he just said it right there. So that points to Brian. The other two things that point to Brian are opportunity, i.e., who else was in the frickin' van or camping with them that night or that day that she went, right?
Right.
He had the opportunity and he had the motive. And, you know, motivation likely was, you know, that he, not likely, I can't say for sure, but perhaps.
Hey, let me just clear something out too, because some people in the chat, for people that are not listening, okay, nobody's saying this is what happened to her. Nobody's victim blaming. Nobody's covering for Brian. Like, relax. Try actually listening, okay? Yesterday, this is something that's come up and people were wondering, and so she's explaining why it's highly unlikely.
Unlikely.
Please. Some people are just so.
People are not listening.
Oh my God. Highly unlikely. Okay. So we're just breaking down why not. Okay. That's it. The coroner yesterday, even after everything with the pregnancy thing, had to still come out and say, no, she's not pregnant. All right. So it's the problem with some people. Just try to listen.
So I'm sorry to the chat if you think that I am somehow justifying or saying it's a great defense that Brian could have, that inadvertently she died during rough sex. I'm saying that is not N-O-T, in my professional opinion, a defense. And I'm telling, and I thought I explained clearly the reasons for it not being a good defense. I think he intentionally murdered her. That is my opinion from a medical perspective. God, I don't want your chat to get angry.
I mean, you can't. With some people, it's just no. But I understood what you're saying. But I just wanted to be very clear. So for some people, you know, they want to cancel everybody for everything. They're trying to cancel. They were trying to cancel Brian Entin yesterday too. It wasn't even his profile. You want to know what I think about what?
What I said.
I appreciate you explaining that. It's a very adult conversation. I get some people can't. It's a very adult conversation. Like I said, we're not trying to be disrespectful, but I saw it yesterday. I mean, the chat was blowing up. People were saying that. A friend of mine called me, and I figured, you know, while we have the opportunity to have a professional, we can ask about that. Okay, so the adult conversation. I know it's not for everybody. And she's saying it's highly unlikely. That's all. And I agree with my theory. I haven't gone too far with theories. I've been saying for a while now. I think he snapped. I think the guy snapped. And this, I think, points more towards that. You know, but.
Yes, and okay, so he snapped. Let's say he did snap, and this horrible thing happened. The vast majority of people, if that were to happen, they would immediately call 911, try to get help, try to revive, try to, you know, they would not be take the van and take her credit card and debit card and go home to mom and dad. I mean, so there's so many aggravating factors in terms of his behavior post her death that also point to his culpability. You know,
that's a good point that you make, and some people were saying that too as well. Like the whole, if he snapped, a normal person would probably be like, "Oh crap, let me call 911 or something." You know, or try to get some help.
Yeah, I have in my practices. I do a lot of family practice, sort of, you know, day one of life to the frail, elderly, etc. You know, I have seen like unfortunately shaking baby syndrome, where the parent does snap. But in my experience, most often they will call 911 and go, "Oh my God, the baby's." They may not say they shook the baby, but they'll be like, "The baby's not responding." I mean, they don't just walk out and leave the baby.
I've covered quite a few stories like that where they'll call 911, they'll make up some different story, but then they're able to see that that's not.
But they still have that measure of, you know, sort of moral compass and measure of compassion and empathy that they have done something wrong and they need to try to right the wrong. I don't see that in this case. I think the other thing that I'll be interested in knowing, but from what I can glean from the reports by, you know, reputable news people, and not that I'm not saying you're not reputable. I'm saying like mainstream that seem quite reputable, that some of the drone, how do I say this? The drone information and some of the chatter, let's say, regarding how Gabby was found is that she was not buried, right? That even in a shallow grave. And there is something to the fact that, let's say he snapped and it was too late. It would be better in terms of his defense had he buried her, even in a shallow grave. Why? Because when somebody buries somebody, even if they murdered them by an accident, the burial shows a measure of compassion, a measure of wanting to honor and keep the dignity of the person by doing a sort of a burial, right? But from what we can see so far is that Gabby was left unattended out in the environs, not buried. What does that show? That shows she's a piece of garbage. I don't honor her. I don't respect her. And I don't want to give her dignity. I just want to dump her. You see? So I look for all these sort of symbols and signs.
Somebody asked too in the chat real quick. Somebody was saying, ask her if she thinks he could be a serial killer.
Oh, yes, I do believe so. I mean, that would be a whole nother conversation. It gets a little dicey for me to even sort of opine or give my opinion on this because, again, I haven't met him.
Right.
But I have spent the past month or so deeply going into, I mean, day one, I went right to his Twitter and looked at his artwork, looked at both of their fascinations with true crime, which everybody, it's a human thing that we're interested in. Why are we all tuning in, right?
Right.
But he had a fascination with a certain author who is, quite famous for, novels regarding serial killer. And, then you get into, you really want to kind of look into his mind and how does his artwork, does his choice of books, etc., give us a little insight into the way his mind works. But you can't just say based on those things that he is a serial killer. But there are other things that I see, mostly I saw in terms of his behavior on that Moab traffic stop that I found very troubling. But this is so, if you ever want to have me back, let me ask you one more question. Yes, of course.
Before I get you off, somebody else wants to ask.
Sure.
This is Breezy365 says, do you think the police prior contact exacerbated his state of mind to commit or conceal the murder? I guess the previous encounter with police.
So do I think that the Moab police stop and the subsequent, even though he was claimed to be a victim, it was an hour and a half freaking video cam stop? Did it exacerbate? Yes, I think it can, especially if somebody's a narcissist, because I'm not saying he is, but if somebody shows narcissistic tendencies, traits, or if they are a true narcissist, any criticism or even a suspicion that they did something wrong, the person will see it as what we call in medicine, we call it a narcissistic blow to their ego. And it can be something minuscule. It could be just a partner or a friend or somebody at work saying, I don't agree with you. And they're like, what do you mean? And it can escalate and exacerbate their pathology. So I don't know who you just told me asked this, somebody 123 or something. I don't remember what you said. But
Breezy,
Breezy 123 or something?
365, I think it was.
Oh,
yeah,
365. I'm sorry, Breezy.
It's okay.
I think it's an outstanding question because I can imagine that having two people call 911, having, I don't know, let's say 5 law enforcement people stop you on the side of a highway, I mean, that would be embarrassing and mortifying for any of us. But then somebody who has proclivities towards domestic violence, which obviously we now, and we know, let's say now, and somebody who, in my opinion, looks to have, at the very least, a trace of narcissism, that kind of a stop could absolutely exacerbate their sense of self. It's a narcissistic blow to their ego. It could distort and anger and enrage. So I don't think it was helpful that stop happened. But the stop did have to happen. But I don't think the stop ended the way I would have had it end. But that's another conversation for another day.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you, coming on and letting me talk to you. And I'm going to set up a video section on my software. So next time I can start having people come on video so people can actually see you. I think it helps a little bit too with the conversation.
Yes, I'm headed on vacation to Florida for about 10 days at the end of the week. So I wouldn't be able to probably pop into your video visit or whatever probably for another week. But if you'd like to stay in touch, I'd be honored to be invited onto your video visit panel, whatever.
Yeah, let me know when you come down too.
Good. I hope the panel found some of what I said informative.
I think I've seen some good responses in there. The chat's going to do what it does.
It does what it does. I'm just, it is what it is.
There's people that know you and recognize you, I guess, from the other channels you've been on and stuff. So.
Okay. Well, anyway, you're doing a great job. I do want to say one last thing, and that is that I hope that folks that are following you would consider a membership onto your channel.
Thank you.
Because I've been a member for quite a long time. When you
had
like 20,000 or something, and the super chats do take away so much from you, and you're doing a beautiful job, Mel.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Feel better. Okay.
Adios.
Adios.
Okay, adios.
We'll talk. Bye. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I talked to quite a few people, and you can definitely see almost, I don't know if like the polar opposite of the varying people that I talk to. And, I try to, I'm respectful. I like James. He's out there. I have a few crazy friends. He's very, very blunt. Probably sometimes, he used to do, I think he told me he used to do radio. And so, but he, like I said, old school. I think he said he did something on Howard Stern. And so, he's very like unfiltered, just, his best thing that he does, I think, is like finding missing people. But the whole climate of the way internet and everything works is definitely different from what it was back then. Let me get some super chats, and then I'm going to just look at some of your comments. But you wouldn't believe, and I have Silvio that calls in too. Some of you guys might remember Silvio. And anytime Silvio comes on, people are kind of like, get him off, let me get to this real quick. Let's see, super chats. But it was an interesting morning. I'm glad we started early. I'm going to see what else happens today. I'm going to have my daughter later tonight. Let's see. Yeah, I really don't like people that do that phone thing. That conversation we had earlier, people taking other people's phones and looking through it. It's just such an uncomfortable way to live, to know that somebody's constantly breathing down your back, watching every single message that you send or comes in. You don't even you can't even function like a normal person when that happens, Allie says, I just can't disagree with you, Mel. I take it back. No, Allie, it's cool, man. You guys, listen, it's all good, man. You guys can express. Oh, and by the way, I saw somebody said I'm timing people out. I'm not personally timing people out. I have mods, and we're trying to work that out a little bit. And I also have the bot, which the bot gets it sometimes wrong. And also there's a YouTube filter that what it does is it'll hide some comments. Let me tell you something. The YouTube filter, when people say, hey, everybody like and subscribe iCkEdMeL, the YouTube filter for some reason hides that. And people have to manually hit like. YouTube is going against me. Just saying like and subscribe or whatever, for some reason, that's getting filtered by the system. So, for the people that don't know, try not to take it personal. Unless, it tells you it's timed out, we can try to work things out. But it's The internet's just, you know, it is what it is, kind of. Gerald 95, Mel speaking fast. Keep working hard, man. Thank you. With that guy, James, I was just really surprised when like he solved that whole case from in another state. That's pretty wild to me. Mr. Clean Video Gates, vent pipe in the garden where the hand was seen. I don't know, man. Somebody sent me an email last night. People really like, I know the garden thing sounds funny and it kind of is somewhat. People are really believing that. I guess that he's just laid out there like holding still, or that at least it goes down somewhere, but they just think he's like laid out. Like just, I don't know. Bro. With this Florida weather, oof. I don't know about that. Billy Jones, you were born awesome, or did you just grow up to be a badass? I don't know. I was really, thanks for the super chat. I don't know. I don't really know. Claire, this PI is projecting his own relationship experience onto what happened between Brian and Gabby. Pure conjecture without any facts. The end result is a loudmouth justifying the actions of Brian. And I've seen people, you know why it's interesting to hear some of the other side, though I know a lot of people disagree with it. Damn, I can't believe I'm that old already. The interesting thing is that there really is people out there that are like on Brian Laundrie's side, like the Laundrie side. So it's kind of like, I mean, I guess some people feel that you shouldn't entertain it or whatever. I think that there's still not enough that we know. I mean, of course, Gabby's dead in the strangulation, and I feel like that points more towards him. We don't know the full, well, you know, what else happened in that relationship. Just like we showed the messages earlier, if that really is people that knew them, what else happened throughout their relationship? Have there been other instances? And somebody pointed out as well, I thought was really good. Somebody pointed out that, I think it was on a call yesterday, and they were like, you remember when Gabby was sitting there and the police were talking to her? And it really does seem like she was kind of covering maybe, which is something that happens typically. But she said that, oh, he just put his hands like around my neck or something, like here. You guys remember that? So now that the strangulation thing comes out, that's interesting. Also, the caller, and I saw some people message saying that this, if he's being helped, this could put pressure on whoever's helping him. Like, holy crap. Like, now it's kind of stepping it up a bit. In her 30s. Love your show. Thank you so much. Michelle's Peach in Life. Remember the actor David Carradine? He died in the exact way. Oh, is that it? That's so very dangerous. But why would BL run through? But why would BL run, though? Which is a good point. And be missing if he snapped. That's a good point. That is a good point. I agree. That whole thing with the asphyxiation, I don't know much about it. I always thought it was weird because I heard about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what these kids are doing these days. I mean, I'm sure it's been around forever. But like when the doctor was talking and she was talking about that, you know, some people do it while they're taking care of themselves. I guess they get a high. I could never imagine that being some form of like, you know, let me do this to get an extra like pleasurable moment. And people have died doing that kind of things. It's so weird and bizarre to me, but it actually does happen. You know, I don't know what the kids are doing these days. Just go out, get a hobby, you know, start a YouTube channel, or go to school, or go exercise. I don't know what is with these kids putting this thing around their neck, or even adults do it too. They've found people and they don't mean to kill themselves. They're just chasing like some sort of high. Or somebody say, hey, don't knock it till you try it. Yo, I'm not trying that, bro. I can't, bro. Just imagine being found like that too. It's got to be like, oh man, that's just, I don't know. I like to have fun, but not like that. M. Tyler, just listen first. Second, Melmir. Thank you, M. Tyler. Yeah, she wasn't supporting Brian. She's she's very like understanding and compassionate. I don't know how people took that like that, but Mary Crowley, thank you for the super chat. CTA, while all you wallflower armchair detectives who haven't done anything hard in your life get over it and show the detective some respect. He does what you can't and won't, so stop the hate. I think you're talking about the private investigator. Like I said, bro, regardless, I understand he's very crass. He's very just out there, but he has found a missing person. Or he said multiple. I know one for sure verified. If you type in James Terry on Google and you type in Gloria Alvarado together at the same time, you'll see some of the articles in that situation. And I mean, I think having a private investigator, if you can afford it, some of them do it pro bono. Some of them have like the whatever 501 set up. I think it can be very beneficial because sometimes the cops got, they got multiple cases, multiple things they're working on. To have one person fully dedicated and working on your situation, and I'm not just saying that because of him, and I think you really need to look for a good person. And I've covered several cases where that's what's family's done. I think it can be beneficial. Just having somebody focus and advocate completely 100% on whatever case it is. Breezy, thank you for the question. White Umbrella, James the PI sounded suspiciously like David Paulides of Missing 411 fame, who has written books that focus on people missing in national parks. He has a website. He's been on radio and stuff before. He's been on some shows and stuff like that, I think a long time ago. He's somebody too. The reason I let him talk is I've interviewed him before for the other missing person. He's somebody that's super easy to talk to. I mean, I actually wasn't even going to call him this live. He messaged me. I was going to actually do a pre-recorded. That way I can clean things up on a live stream. You know, it just, what is what it is, comes out kind of. But he's really easy to talk to. He's somebody who say 1 or 2, 3 words, and he just carries the whole conversation. Other people, it's like you're pulling teeth to talk with somebody, you know? Zanime, or Anime, they most likely release cause of death to draw him out. If someone is hiding him, they'll give him up once they find out that he killed Gabby. Nadia, good point of view. Michael Hodgkins from INX's 90s band died of self-asphyxiation. Wow. I don't know what it is. It must be like the ultimate high or something. Isn't there other things you can do, yo? Like, isn't there other stuff out there? Go smoke something, drink something. I don't know why people would do that. Go do whippets. Isn't that almost like, you know? Not that I'm encouraging any of that. Let me do a quick little sweep. See if we got anything else. And I'm just going to like look at the chats and then we'll move on. Take a look here. Whippets. Thank you, Kim, for becoming a member. Vest. So if one of us finds dirty laundry and nabs him for the reward, would we be kidnapping or false imprisoning him since we aren't licensed? I was looking up the Florida stuff. It seems a little complicated. Let me see. Florida. When I was watching Dog the Bounty Hunter, I don't think he's really done anything illegal so far. Just searching. I don't think knocking on somebody's door is illegal. I mean, if you keep going back like there and like harassing, maybe that's a whole different story. But he just, from what I saw, he knocked one time. Going out and searching. I mean, I've gone so many places before in the wilderness. That doesn't, you know, now if he finds him and arrests him or tries to arrest him or detain him, I don't know. Maybe that's a different story. I don't know. It's like a mixed bag from what I'm seeing. This is an old article, but it says, want to be a crime fighter, Florida law allows you to chase down a robber or take down a gunman. But be careful. While you're allowed to make a citizen's arrest for a felony crime, law enforcement authorities still have mixed feelings about civilians taking the law into their own hands. Even well-intentioned people have been charged with battery or have been sued for false arrest if the person they detain isn't convicted. Oh, you see that? I mean, I guess that's maybe the point he's trying to make. I don't think he's done anything illegal now, but I mean, if he were to encounter him, you know, I don't know what the procedure would be. Will he just call cops? Would he just keep an eye on him and you know, 911 or whatever and let the authorities come in? Maybe there's a way, because he's been doing it for a long time, you know, so maybe there's a way to go about it that you can avoid legal issues. Media reports tell numerous stories of Floridians taking the law into their own hands. Last year, Boynton Beach man put an armed robber in a chokehold after the gunman tried to hold him up as he left the restaurant with his wife, but the robber had messed with a 63-year-old former wrestler. A foot sweep and a chokehold later, the victim turned the tables on him. The wrestler's wife kept a pellet gun aimed at the robber until the police arrived. A Dania Beach man chased a hit-and-run driver who crashed into a motorcyclist on the Interstate 95. The man yanked the drunken driver out of his car at a stoplight in Hollywood and wrestled him to the ground. The Dania Beach driver who had witnessed the crash kept the man in a headlock until police arrived. You can detain someone until police arrive if you witness a felony or have reasonable belief someone committed a felony. You should tell a person if they're under arrest, but don't worry about reading them the Miranda rights. Don't use force, more force than needed. So there's a whole thing to it. I don't know. Maybe he has a plan in place. Citizen's arrest. The garden thing. Oh my god. Brian Laundrie. See if we got anything else here. What's up, guys, man? We're already towards the end of the stream. That is bull. If you throw down a citizen's arrest on a gross politician or celebrity, you will go to jail. We have tons of evidence, no justice. Let me see this guy. I don't know about shit. I think we've had enough controversial people. I was going to call a friend of mine too, but you guys want to do calls or call it? We can call it a stream now. Come back later, maybe. See what happens. Later today I'm gonna fix. You wanna do some calls? I wanna later today fix this whole so I can get a video thing going so people that want to come in and do a little video chat and talk a little bit about the case. Let me see if this guy's available. If not, I can just open the lines, maybe take a few callers.
Hello.
Yeah, what's up? Are you working?
What up? Huh?
We're on live right now.
What happened?
We're live right now.
Okay. Hello. My bad. I'm working.
Oh, you're working? Okay, don't worry about it, bro.
What's going on?
No, just wondering because when we spoke yesterday a little bit about what your thoughts about the strangulation thing was.
Okay. What you mean? Like, what caused it?
Yeah, just your thoughts on the case, man. I saw you sending me messages this morning too, blowing me up with screenshots of some address and all this stuff. Don't say the address, but
I feel you. Nah, I just think I just like everybody said, it has to be like a passion crime.
canceled.
You heard?
Yeah.
It had to be like a passion crime. He probably had to like strangle her with his hands, bro. It has to be, man. And I also
What
think,
is a passion crime? I don't even know what is considered.
I thought a passion crime is like when you care about somebody but you hate them or some shit like that. You know?
A passion crime, because it means, I think, without premeditation. Let me see. A crime of passion in popular usage refers to a violent crime, especially homicide, in which the perpetrator commits the act against someone because of sudden strong impulse, such as sudden rage, rather than premeditated. Okay, so it's saying that it wasn't premeditated, pretty much.
I was listening to you live, but I didn't know you were still live, bro. I
Yeah.
was still here working.
All right, bro, man. Well, I'll let you get back to work.
All right, man. My bad. I can't really talk,
Okay.
bro.
We're good, man.
All right,
We're
peace.
good. All right, peace. Let me do the call-ins. We could do call-ins for a couple minutes. Enough on that. It's a crime of rage, everybody's saying. Give me 1 second. Let me do this. All right, let me put the number out if anybody wants to call in. Am I connected here? Let's see. There we go. Okay, we got somebody already. 858. How you doing? Where you calling from? Welcome.
Good. What's up, Mel? Down in
Hey,
Dallas,
what's up?
Texas.
What's your name?
I just want to share an opinion with you. Thomas.
Oh, Thomas. Hey, welcome, man, from Texas.
Yeah. We actually spoke once before. One of your commenters made a funny thing like, yo, this dude sounds like Charlie Sheen. I've never heard that before. I was laughing my ass off. But yeah, I wanted to touch on something too. You've shared it before and you kind of mentioned it. It's, we can speculate everything in the world, and as more detail comes out, obviously it points in one pretty big direction. But at the end of the day, none of us truly know, right? And so I always used to be the one that would kind of, anytime I hear or read something like that, evil, sick monster, without knowing facts. And I actually had a close friend who, he made a pretty bad decision and got himself in some trouble. But what came out in the media and what things were said about his situation was a million times worse and distorted from what actually truly happened. And so having to hear all of these people and all the public and everyone that, I mean, he got death threats, people are driving by his house, and I've known this guy for like 20 years and knew of the situation. So it's kind of toned me back, way back, to start thinking and waiting until facts come out and things are actually said. But this case is just one of the most bizarre, weirdest things in the world, between their trip and what happened and its family just so silent. I mean, just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, were you surprised at all with the, with the turnout of the autopsy results?
I wouldn't say surprised. I honestly had no idea what it was really going to be. I'm kind of with your buddy that you called into. If I had to guess, it's just a guess. But yeah, crime of passion type situation that probably happened. But again, I have no idea. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah, there's still a lot of information we're missing. It's going to take, and I think we probably will get more details. I think that they're just going to hold it for now, to see what happens if they find this guy, maybe use it in court.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there too. And I'd read something somewhere a couple weeks back, no idea if it's true or not, that Gabby's family was going to hire and have their own independent autopsy performed in New York. I don't know what those laws and rules and regulations are, so I'd be curious if any other findings, if they're allowed to release any extra details or things like that versus, the laws in Wyoming. So I think there's so much more that's going to come out, and you're going to continue to have 10,000 viewers on every single live every day until we start hearing this. It's crazy.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the call. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Mel.
All right, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, the lines blew up. Yeah, let's just do some calls, man. We're here early today. Let's do some calls. 571, how you doing? Where you calling from? Let me get something on the screen.
I'm calling from Rockville, Maryland.
Hey, welcome.
So I was wondering, people aren't really talking about when the Utah arrest was occurring. She was on the phone with her mother. So why wouldn't her mother and her father get her back to the East Coast immediately? Why did they let her go? The other question I have regarding the sister saying she FaceTimed with Gabby when Brian was in Florida in middle of August. Nobody's really talking about the fact that they actually supposedly communicate. What was Gabby doing while she was alone in Utah? That's crazy that her parents allowed that.
Well,
I love your
from
show.
what I hear, thank you, man. I appreciate the call. From what I hear, supposedly the father didn't know. I think he went on Dr. Phil. Gabby's father said that he didn't know that situation happened. The Moab incident.
What, the arrest?
Yeah, and I don't know about the mother. I really don't know. I'm because supposedly
she was on the phone with the mother.
Right. They said she was calling
Cruiser on the phone with. She was saying, "I'm on the phone with my mother."
Right. She did say that. So I mean, that is a point. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's been mysterious, weird gap because even after that Moab incident, they say I think he flew out on the 17th to Florida. I mean, it's just weird to me that he would fly out, leave her back there, go home, and then go to the storage unit, and it's bizarre. And nobody asked for her, or even when they came back alone, nobody asked for her. And then they went on this camping trip, and nobody asked for her. Just weird.
And then it took the parents 10 days to say, "Oh, wait, maybe something's wrong." After the end of August, they just let it go for 10 days before they said, "Wait a minute,"
I think there was an explanation for that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but her parents sound a little sketchy too, frankly. I gotta say.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, her parents did not respond the way I would have responded.
Mm. All right, well, thank you, man.
Let her go. Let her get. Okay, yeah, thanks, Mel. I
appreciate it. Yeah. All right, take care, man. Everybody's off the hinges today. I think somebody did explain it. No, I appreciate the call. But somebody one time explained to me that they were trying to report her missing, like from New York, but like because of she was living in Florida, and so like this thing happened. Somebody explained it to me one time. 201, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Hey, welcome.
Oh, it is the legend, the moment. iCkEdMeL, I am honored to be on the line. I enjoy.
Thank you for calling. Yeah, appreciate you watching. Thank you.
I also have a question about Cookie Sims that I'm really confused about because I've seen that they said she's found, but I still haven't seen no sign of her, and I'm a little nervous about that. So I don't know if this is, the appropriate time to ask you that question. Maybe we can get back to that another time. But that girl's story breaks my heart. But my thing is, I had a real crazy, weird gut feeling that it was strangulation. Unfortunately, my gut feeling is not often wrong, unfortunately. When I was a dance teacher for 20 years, and I ended up helping 4 girls over the years that were being molested just off of a gut feeling and handling it in a very gentle manner. And there were other kids I couldn't help because you have to handle it in a gentle manner. You can't push something and you can't, falsely clean something. You have to do it in a very, very gentle way. Just mention, this is what I'm kind of sensing. I'm sensing something's up to the mom or to my studio owner to talk to the mom. And I helped a lot of kids just based off the feeling.
Right.
I know that we've had a lot of Brian sightings and everything, but there's the one sighting that really makes my gut turn in the truck. That guy that said he saw him in the truck and that he said that the man in the truck said, I had a fight with my girlfriend and I have to go to California.
Oh, yeah.
And that turns my gut only because, number one, we know there's a possibility he had the resources to get a truck and everything. There's definitely a possibility he had the ability to do that. And number two, he almost said exactly the same thing when he was hitchhiking to the girl in the car. And that really turns my stomach, that it was almost verbatim. And I was wondering, what I wanted to ask you is, do you have any idea if that was followed through, if anybody ever followed through on that at all? Because that's such a huge possibility. I mean, we have no clue where this guy is. And the fact that this old man who, you know, maybe he seemed like he was following the case a little bit, but he had to go back and look at the picture.
Right.
So for him to have said the exact words that he said to those hitchhike in that hitchhike situation, it just really is giving me those vibes.
I haven't heard any updates from that. The last thing I did hear supposedly that the FBI took him seriously and they went and talked with him and they took down the information, and that was the last thing I heard. I haven't heard no updates with that. And now that especially now the Carlton Reserve is almost almost confirmed a dead end. They haven't really found anything of Brian's in there, you know. So, but thank you so much for the call.
That is my theory. I'm on the record now. All right. Have a good
All right,
one.
thanks.
Nice to talk to you, man.
Nice talking to you
Bye.
too. Take care. 804, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Virginia.
Virginia, welcome.
Thank you. The show. Okay.
Thanks.
I'd like to know why the FBI is spending so much time and attention and money, $1 million they've spent already for one guy who murdered Gabby. I'm not trying to lessen this situation, but the FBI doesn't usually do that. I think it goes back to where they are suspecting Brian of other murders. So I don't know, but $1 million for the FBI, I mean, it's whoa. But they will find him. Everybody's bashing the FBI, but I do think they will find him, and God willing, soon. As far as that other caller, why your 22-year-old wouldn't call you for 10 days, there's something with the kids wanting to be adults and be on their own.
Right.
And they don't need mommy anymore. I face it with my daughter, who's 22, and can't get her to even send back an LOL at one of my texts sometimes, because but she's super busy, but still she's all that independent stuff, and you want to trust them, and 10 days you're worried every day, but you still trust that they're okay, which didn't work out in this case. But what have you heard why the FBI is so busy in this? I mean, why them? Why not local police?
I think local police were more involved, and then they kind of handed it over to the FBI, and I guess because it's multiple jurisdictions and because it was in a national park, I guess. So. Okay.
Still, that's it kind of cuts out the other people who've been murdered and didn't get the attention, which breaks my heart. But
yeah, I really thought they had more for that Carlton Reserve thing. I really thought they had more, and it's I guess not.
I heard there were 3 dogs that hit the same pond at 3 different times, the cadaver dogs. They were out separately, and that's why they were so focused in there. But I don't think that's Brian.
All right.
I don't know. Well, I appreciate what you do.
Yeah, thank you for calling. Yeah, and watching. Appreciate it. Stay tuned. All righty.
Okay, take care.
Bye. 540, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Alrighty.
Okay, take care.
No.
Hello. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing? I'm hearing myself in the background. Can you turn me down in the back? Yeah. Can you turn me down in the background? Because I hear myself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you.
I got about 10 points. I'm going to try to run down real quick.
All right. Go ahead.
With you before. And remember, I told you that his parents put that car in the reserve. And now, oh my gosh, here goes this case. I just want to start with, you're doing great. Your fans that have picked up, I don't know where they came from, but I like the private guy. He was very good.
Oh, you liked him?
Very practical. I liked him because he was practical. People are not understanding that we cannot keep working off emotions. Look what happened to Gabby. Rest in peace.
Okay.
This case is a. I think I'm trying to understand why we are not still looking at the fact that this man planned all this. He came home on September 1st with no electronics. The police have searched this reserve and they still have not found Gabby's electronic, his electronic, not the one that he bought and left at the house, but he had another one. They haven't found her Apple Watch. Where are all the electronics? And then he's not dead. Why do people keep thinking he's dead? He was smart enough to leave wherever Utah, 35 hours, and get back and escape. They got the van key. They had a lawyer before they even gave the police the van key. These people are smart. This man is not dead. They cut the grass today after they found out he strangled her. Let me calm down. They know what they're doing. Why did they lawyer up before the 1st of September? Why are they keeping so quiet? These are questions that we need to ask. The FBI are not asking these questions because the FBI should have found this guy already. They are making this a cold case, and I got an issue with that. It's seeming more and more staged to me. Dog left the case. He jumped in the case. He left the case. People really think that Dog is really going to help find him before the FBI. The FBI is serious, y'all. Why they can't find him, though?
That's right. I wonder why they can't find him. It's crazy that they can't find this guy.
And it's crazy that the parents lawyered up. Nobody's put the press on this lawyer. Nobody has put the press on nobody who knows this lawyer. I want to see this lawyer's certificate. Is he a lawyer? Is he really just a real estate lawyer? He cannot keep answering us over text. Show your face. The FBI need to make him show his face. Why haven't the FBI put a blatant new picture of Brian out there? The FBI, we need answers. Like the caller said before, the FBI hasn't even given us a press conference. You're searching this reserve and you're wasting. Hey, what's the YouTube caller name? I think I got one more minute. The YouTuber that came on, I got $1 billion of non-taxes I'm not paying.
Oh, Molly Goletti.
But thanks a lot.
All right, thank you for that call. Appreciate it.
I'm looking for him. I thought I seen him in D.C. about a week ago at the Women's March, but there is an officer that looks just like him on the Homeland Security, and I harassed him about this.
Damn.
But yeah, the FBI needs to give us answers. We need a brilliant picture of him plastered on the screen, not the lake, not that reserve. The FBI needs to talk. We need a press conference, not the parents, not the lawyer. We need a press conference. Thanks,
Thank you. Appreciate the call. Thank you so much. Yeah, bye. That's some good feedback. Interesting, and somebody that actually liked James. Holy crap! I gotta tell him later. Hey, it was one person. It was one person. All right, I'm gonna get to the rest of the calls. I pause the calls for now because I want to make sure I get everybody. I don't want to hang up on people. Also, with Cookie Sims, just really quickly, a missing person that I covered the other day, and that now they said she was found. Allegedly, she was in some hospitals or something. She made a whole video about the domestic issues and domestic violence and accusing her father of a bunch of things. And now when I went to go look back at her YouTube, that video is gone. She took her own video down. So what happened with that? What's going on with her? Is she okay? I don't know. But I know in a lot of stories that I've covered when, I don't know what Cookie's situation is, but I know in previous stories where people had some sort of like meltdown or just like, mental stuff going on, typically the person will be found and you don't hear anything else. Like, because they don't, people don't have to divulge more information about what they're going through. And so I don't know if she'll ever come forward. She does have a YouTube channel. She might. But a lot of the times that I've covered, because there's been a couple of Miami stories where, people have come and traveled here, do whatever, go celebrate, go party, whatever. I'm not saying that at all for Cookie, but I'm just saying previously, and people have had issues or mental issues, and then they found, and then that's it. You never hear nothing else. Okay, let me get the next caller. 601.
What's up, iCkEdMeL?
Hey, what's up? Who's this?
This is Clay. I'm calling from Jackson, Mississippi. Let me start off
Welcome.
by saying like and subscribe. Put a
Thank
thumbs
you.
up on it. It doesn't take any effort.
Thanks, man.
Share it. Share it on every profile you have. This stuff is the ticket, man. I've watched them all. I have my notifications turned on for yours every day. If I can't catch
Thank
the
you,
live,
man.
I watch the replay. And you can second me for liking the private eye a little bit ago. I know people hating on him, but I mean that's just his opinion, man. And that's what everybody's doing. They're giving their opinion about what they think happened and what their experiences have been. So don't hate, congratulate. But I love your show, and I love the calls that you could get in. But I think everything changed when Red, White, and Bethune had that footage. I think that changed things for Brian because even though I think it was a crime of passion, which, it's a different kind of defense that attorneys use instead of premeditated, even though I think, it was bound to happen. But I think what they were doing at the Carlton Reserve is I think they're looking for those phones. They're looking for that Apple Watch. I mean, he had to do something with, evidence when they cleaned out that van. And I think it could either be at the DeSoto place or the Carlton Reserve somewhere. And I think that's where the, for lack of a better term, the smoking gun lies at one of those places where the evidence is. And I think, the FBI know a lot more than they're leading on. But this is, I just hope that this case is used to shine a light on other missing persons cases that get no attention.
I agree.
And, people that may not be an influencer or something like that, there's common people out there. There's truly good people out there that want to help. And, you might see something, you might hear something, and, everybody's getting the Ring doorbells and everybody's got the dash cams and all that kind of the GoPros. So if everybody would kind of just focus on it, I think we're eventually going to catch this guy. But I just think the whole family's involved. I think that the sister was kind of in the dark. But I think parents for sure. And because that mom worked in the court system for so long, that's why they're being so quiet, because she knows if they do a lot of talking, that's going to open up, because you tell one lie, you got to tell another one to cover it up. You just got to keep lying. So if they don't talk, they're not lying. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're not talking. That's why that attorney ain't saying nothing. But when he has to, but we gonna find him, and you're gonna be a big part of it, iCkEdMeL, and I appreciate it. And I just want to shout you out, brother. And I'm here listening in the 601.
Thank you, man. I appreciate the support. Yeah, man. Take care, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Nice call. 310. How you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from California. What's going on, man? How you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good, pretty good, man. I've been following your show for about 3 weeks already. I really like your content and everything. I've also been looking at this case pretty in depth. I'm not looking at the case from what most people are looking at it. I'm looking at it from the perspective of what the defense is going to do. One of the things I wanted to say about yesterday, I believe from what I saw, I studied the initial tape of the police stop when they got pulled over. I noticed a couple of things that Gabby was very distraught, but one of the things that I noticed about her is that I believe there was a lot of violence going on between them two, but I also see something in the video that a lot of people are not bringing up, because I understand that DV is a very, very serious situation, and people do end up losing their lives because of this. Now, one of the things that I see a lot of people on social media, even the mainstream media, that are basically deflecting from here is that Gabby did assault Brian that day, right? And on that day, it could have been that he started it. Something very bad happened that day, which initiated this situation. But the main thing that I think that people have to understand that Gabby should have been arrested that day, in my perspective, right? I think if she would have been arrested, she probably would be alive today because I think her parents would have stepped in. Now, another thing about one of the things that I'm going to see that the defense is going to use, the cops took pictures of Brian's hands in the video. They took pictures of his hands. So they have that evidence. Now, what I know about yesterday, the FBI and the law enforcement, they don't have enough to charge him. And if they do overcharge Brian with the crime that is something they can't prove, he's probably going to be he's going to be acquitted. That's the reason why they haven't charged him yet. One of the reasons. But one of the things that I know is that Brian, up to this point, based on that video of the police stop, he does have a case now, based on the fact that, in theory, they can say that maybe Gabby grabbed a rock or grabbed her cell phone and started hitting him over the head, and he had to defend himself. Right? That's one of the things that I know that's going to be one of the things they're going to use, and I think that the jury is going to be it's going to be swayed to the point where it's going to be like, you know what, more happened. Maybe he did defend himself, and he ended up. I'm gonna give you a quick example, real fast, because I don't want to take too much of your time.
It's okay, go ahead.
About 10 years ago, I'm 38. My niece is 4 years younger than me. She likes to drink a lot, right? My niece. She got really mad. She started fighting everybody. Nobody could actually stop her because then nobody wanted to subdue her. So I had to grab my niece. I'm about 5'6.5". She's about 5'4", but she's really strong when she's drunk. So I grabbed her and she was punching me. And I had to turn her around and subdue her and put her kind of in a chokehold. And she wouldn't stop. And I had to for about 5 minutes, I had to hold her. And I was afraid that I was going to hurt her because I had her in a chokehold. Yeah, right? So what I'm saying here is that sometimes, and I understand that this is a very sensitive case, a very sensitive topic. But if we're going to start talking about domestic violence, we also have to start talking about that when women assault a man and they break the law, we need to also hold them accountable for that as well. Because I know everything is going. Yeah, I understand that Brian possibly killed her. Could it have been murder? I think, like the other caller said, it's a crime of passion, right? I think that's what happened here. I know there's a lot of speculation out there, but I really think this is what happened. She probably hit him, and she probably subdued her, or maybe he did get on top of her and choke her out while she was laying on her back. That's probably what happened. I think it's really sad that this happened. And I think that the FBI and everybody agreed that they're going to put out the cost of death because they're going to make the attorney and Brian believe that he has a case. And he's probably going to turn himself in within the next month at the most. And I think the attorney's going to be in contact with Brian pretty soon, telling him we have a case of some sort, and then he's going to come in. I hope that happens because we need to know, and Brian needs to be held accountable for this if it was him.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the call and sharing your thoughts on that.
No problem, man. Thank you.
All right,
thank you so much for giving me this moment. Have a good one.
For sure, man. Thank you. You too. He ran over a little bit. I have some thoughts about that, but and it's a little. Let me take the rest of the callers, but I feel that for sure there should have been, in my opinion, there should have been somebody arrested that day. Now, what this guy was saying that Gabby should have been arrested. Well, the thing is, I mean, we're looking in hindsight now, but if on that day was August 12th, that day, the way the cops got the information, they believe that Gabby had attacked him, and that he had scratch marks. And so, yeah, there should have been an arrest that day. I think they should. And they were trying to figure out how not to arrest somebody. And at the end of the day with the arresting, you go to court. I don't know that she ever made it to her court date because it was supposed to be like this online thing. You go to court and you work out the kinks and things get figured out from there. Could that saved her life or anybody's life? I personally don't think it would have, unless she was arrested and maybe called her parents. But like in that back of the truck thing during the body cam thing, supposedly she called her mother. The dad said he didn't know, and so I don't know that would have saved her. And a lot of times too, people keep going back to each other, which clearly they went back to each other and they got together. And I just feel like there's still a lot that we don't know. You know, we were still finding out things like the restaurant situation. We had the 911 caller saying that he hit her, but, you know, on the spot there, she said that she hit him, but then she also said the throat thing. And then you don't know if you're really getting the full story when these people are talking, when they're, you know, being questioned by cops. But I think that there should have been an arrest that day. 843, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello.
Hi, how you doing? Welcome.
Hey, man. How's it going?
Good. How you doing? Welcome.
Hey, Hartselle, South Carolina here.
That's okay.
Just appreciate your show.
Thanks
you're
for
doing
calling.
an awesome
Thanks
job,
for watching.
man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I kind of agree with the last caller in a way and what you were saying as well. I think, you know, both parties could have been pushing it a little too much. Now, whether, you know, her being arrested would have saved her, could have. But eventually it probably would have ended up the same way. And I hate to say that. Yeah, here's my question though. Was there a picture that they took of Brian by the sister after the fact when he came home? With the kids?
So there was a picture.
Okay. Yeah.
Trying to see if I can find it. I had it up here somewhere. Oh, here it is.
I think the one I noticed is kind of, you know, a little bruising on his forearm for the most part.
So somebody edited it. The edited photo, all this stuff looks darker and red. Like, I don't know if they bumped up the contrast. And this image, what I'm looking here, I can't see bruising and marking. But the other image, to me, the one that was photoshopped, it's just really hard to tell because everything just looks darker. So I couldn't pick up markings on him. You know,
well, the reason why I'm saying is I'm thinking Brian's kind of sitting back and watching to see how it falls, because you know, of course, you know, obviously his parents is going to take up for him regardless. I mean, I hate to say it, but parents do that, man. You know,
right?
They're going to look after their own, but I think that, you know, if there was some type of bruising or whatnot, I think he's sitting back because a bruise takes like 2 to 3 weeks to heal up.
Right.
So you know, I don't know. It's a whole sad situation, but I'm so glad that you're actually looking out for other missing people as well.
Yeah. Yep.
I work in law enforcement, so I know we work on I-95 areas over here, and there's a lot of there's a lot of, you know, human trafficking that people just don't pick up on or realize, and it's happening a lot. And I'm glad that people are starting to open their eyes to different situations. So
and there's bodies being found all the time too. Like there's something 2 days ago, Pompano Beach. I saw something else somewhere here in Florida. Bodies being found all the time.
I mean, think about it, like truckers, for example, and I'm not blaming truckers at all. Please don't say I am. But I mean, this is just for an example that I know of. A trucker was picked up, a young female, and they gave her a nickname. I'm not going to say what the nickname was, but she was a blonde-headed chick, you know. And she was white. And they give so much money for these girls, you know, and take them up to like New York or whatnot. It blows your mind how much, you know, stuff is going on underneath us, and we have no idea.
All right.
Yeah, man, just look out for each other, and you know, it's a bad situation, but anyway, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
I've actually picked up on your all of us guys have been watching it. So.
Well, yeah, I appreciate the
the
call and you watching and the support. Thank you.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care.
Okay.
Bye. Okay, 727. You're next. 727. How you doing? We're calling from 727.
I'm sorry I didn't come off mute. Oh my god.
Hey, that's okay. Hey.
Hey, Melvin.
Welcome.
It's Mayor. I'm Tyler.
Oh, Mayor. Thank you for calling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for the
Mayor,
super chats.
Clearwater, Florida originally, but I am in Charleston as well. So
Cool.
Sorry, a little nervous. Anyways.
No, that's okay. Don't worry.
Crazy. So just strangulation, you know, just thinking, like, her last moments. Like, poor girl. Like, I don't know how it happened. None of us do. I don't know if we ever will, but like just her last moments in strangulation, like that's so and then like the parents, it's interesting that they choose to mow the lawn at this time. Pretty bold, but okay. I hope you and your daughter are well, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, his parents, it's okay. His parents are kind of going about like normal, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else they're supposed to do, but you know, they're not talking, they're not saying nothing. Everybody, the world is watching them. There's all these cameras out there, and they're just kind of going about their day. You know, just like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if one day they're swimming in the pool and there's like some drone footage of them just sitting in the pool with a glass of champagne or something. They just been rocking out. I was like, kind of surprised. You know.
Well, I mean, like honestly though, I don't think there's a manual on how you're supposed to act.
Right. I mean, I don't know what I would do. I mean, I would advocate. I would at least say, you know, turn yourself in or something. You know, I don't know, or come forward. But
I would say, yeah, but you also get judged on. I mean, like I was
That's true.
nervous calling in.
Yeah, you can't. You can't say nothing without. I could imagine. Yeah, whatever it is you do, you blink, you twitch, whatever. You're guilty. It's some sort of psychological, whatever it is, and they're all diagnosing you.
About the other day, you showered. Oh, you went to the bathroom. You're guilty.
Yeah, you're guilty for everything. You calling in, you're guilty too. They're gonna start thinking you're somebody. Yeah.
You took your dog out to go to the bathroom. You're guilty.
Yeah.
But like I ain't. God, I don't even want to say this. Like,
Uh-oh.
okay, I mow my lawn because it's a form of meditation. Like, it's I take pride in my property. You know, like. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, but I just find it very bold because honestly, if I'm not a parent at all, but I would find it hard to go outside the house if this situation was happening with any part of my family. Like, I would find it very hard.
I think they're getting to the point where they're kind of like F it. Like, because you saw the other day when they came out, they picked up the laundry baskets. They took out the Gabby post, which they're within their rights because it is on their property. But I think they're getting to the point where like they don't even care. They're just coming here, coming there. They're just going about doing what they got to do.
Well, they're fed up, I'm sure. And I'm sure everybody around them is. And like, you know, I was watching the video of him like, you know, mowing.
Yeah.
At least I was like holding my breath as he's line trimming around Gabby's, because he didn't touch that section, right?
Right.
Like, and I'm like, he better be real careful around that, because if he hits or breaks something on that, or a pumpkin like explodes, or flowers,
God.
Oh God, people would die. So, I mean, like, no, it's a memorial. Like this poor girl, not getting too much, but yeah, been there, done it, seen it, got out, great. Thank goodness. I did. Don't want to take up your time. I know we.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Any other? You could do one more thought if you have anything, or if that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Hit like, subscribe, and I am on Discord. Not that you.
Are you on Discord? Oh, cool.
Yeah,
who are you on Discord? Oh yeah, you did say Tyler. I completely forgot. You did say Tyler.
The world, love it, love it.
They're gonna come looking for you. Well, thank you though. I appreciate you being on Discord, and I appreciate you calling for the support. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Dude,
don't worry. The other two callers I had. Well, the one caller.
Discord that has interacted knows that I'm so new, and we can all tell. So great.
No, it's all good.
Love
it's all good. Don't worry.
Thanks, Melvin.
Well, thank you. You too.
Your daughter's well.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye. 573. How you doing? We're calling from 2 more calls, or this one and one more. 573.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
So, my perspective is, which I wanted to say that I enjoy that fact that you give everybody a voice, whether you agree with them or not. And I love the fact that you just sit back and you just let them talk. But I am a abuse survivor, and it's hard for people to understand that you stay in it, and like all of the people like talking and saying, I would do this, the police should do that. I stayed in my situation for 26 years, and my ex-husband was a minister, and everybody knew he was abusing me.
How many years?
Lied.
I'm sorry. How many years? I forgot.
26.
Wow. Holy crap.
And the reason I stayed was because he was threatening me that he would take my son away from me. And I was so afraid. And so, like, my dad knew. And the worst thing is that I lied to my dad. And, like, all the talking and all the, if the police had done this and if the police had done that, it doesn't matter, because in the end, outcome would probably have been the same. I have been divorced for 13 years, and that man is still stalking me. A month ago, he actually broke into my home. Sometimes it's harder than you think to get out of situations. And the boy that I stayed in the situation for hasn't spoken to me in 6 years because the abuse that he inflicted upon us. He actually convinced him that I was the one that was doing the abuse.
Do you have like partial custody or like some sort of joint custody?
My son is 30.
No, he's older now. Okay. Yeah.
And so I've been through a lot already. At 5, I was taken by a SWAT team, so I was already, I was adopted. So I already had a lot of scars and stuff, and so that codependent and enabling was already there. He is actually a preacher, and everybody turned a blind eye. Everybody turned a blind eye except my dad, and my dad would beg me. My dad even had a home. He had everything for me, but I still lied. And so I guess my point is like, in the end, it's just I know that Gabby Petito is out there, and we, you know, we can have this opinion and that opinion. And actually, my ex-husband tried to kill me. He sabotaged a car. I had a horrible wreck. He tried to strangle me, and I tried suicide 6 times. I was literally on the bottom, and finally, he kicked me out. That was the only reason I left. And in the end, he accused me. He was obviously a cheat. That's just, he's a narcissistic sociopath. And like I said, he breaks into our home. I'm remarried now. I have PTSD. And if you know anything about PTSD, it causes you to forget. And so that's the reason why my son, who is an adult now, you forget. You can't, there's just things that block out. So once my ex-husband realized, oh, he doesn't remember, he said, oh, you know that abuse that's in your head? Your mother did that. So, I mean, that's just my input. I don't know. But when I hear it, like, it's actually, I have to be really careful because it triggers me a little bit. But, and I appreciate that you give other people, like, a voice.
No, for sure, yeah.
I hear compassion in your voice because, like, and I thought I wouldn't cry, but it's hard not to cry because, like, I see a counselor, but I have PTSD so bad that I asked my counselor the other day, I said, why does it still bother me? And he said, because there's no pill that will stop it. And I'll end by saying this. The last thing that my father died a year and a day after my divorce. And at that point, I finally confessed to my dad that my ex-husband, we're talking the police took his side. They just have a way of convincing everybody that it's you, and you'll confess. I don't know how to explain it. It just happens. And the last words that my dad said before he went on a ventilator and then died was, "I'm going to come out of this hospital, and that man will never hurt you again." He actually had me down on my hands and knees in the attorney's office, and all the attorney did was ask him to leave the office. He had me down on my hands and knees in front of my father. He is a part of a large, pardon me? Go ahead.
Did you ever try a restraining order? So I was going to ask.
It's as good as the piece of paper that it's written on.
Yeah, that's true.
The police department knows he comes to my house. I had COVID in December, and he threw a baseball at the window of my house. And if you have, like, siding on the side of your house, he's done all this stuff to me all my life, and because I married him when I was 18, and it made a loud sound like a gun. And the police department, I called them, and they was here immediately because they know I'm right, but you have to catch him in the act. it's just he won't leave me alone. He bought me a car, and the car that I wrecked, that he sabotaged, and they know that the part of the car was gone, that because it was either I'm not real good with it, but the tie rod ends or the ball bearings, and they were gone. So they just have to put it in an archive, and if they don't know, because it was a Mustang and the whole front end of the car was gone. Actually, I'm a preacher's daughter, and I married a preacher, and he's still licensed in a huge organization that I won't mention. And even though they know it, they threw me out and kept him. And but I traded that car off a month ago, and I felt so free. And it made him so mad that he got up in one of their churches and told all kinds of things about me. And it's been 13 years. And so my counselor, when I was telling him about it, he said he's just pitching a fit, just a little old fit, because he's so mad. And we are 57, he's 60.
Damn. You guys still going through it. Because you were married to him like how many? 20-something years, and then you guys are
6 years. And
26.
Been,
and you guys are divorced, and you're still going through it, separated everything. Yes. Wow.
Yes, he's tried to take my husband's truck from me. He's tried to take my car from me. He's tried to take the home I live in from me. And I'm not welcome in any, like, I grew up, and like I said, I don't want to mention the name of the church. I mean, I would talk to you offline and tell you stories that you cannot imagine that would make this come to life for you. And I've heard all these stories. I can listen to these callers and tell you whether or not I can feel it in their voices. And I know this is going to sound maybe condescending or know-it-all. I can tell you if they're telling the truth. This is a girl that I was born into a family. I've been locked in basements. I ate out of trash cans. At 4 years old, I was taken by a SWAT team. I was adopted into a wonderful family, and he saw those insecurities in me. I was the best cover. I was a wonderful mother. I homeschooled my son. But
thank you. I really appreciate your call, because there's another person holding, so I don't want to be rude, but thank you so much for.
Sorry. I appreciate
it's okay. Yeah, thank you for sharing your experience, and sorry about the loss of your father, and hopefully you overcome this situation that you're going through.
I'll be good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Wow, that was 360. Last call. Sorry about the hold. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, man. Welcome.
Man, that last caller was pretty crazy. That was crazy.
Yeah.
So my thoughts were my issue yesterday with the medical examiner when he kind of commented domestic violence, and everybody was like, "Oh, we got a clue. We got some more insight into it. Yay!" And I was just like, "Oh no," because there's a reason why he's not supposed to speculate on the investigation, and he did. So when it comes, if it ever goes to trial, the defense is going to have just to obliterate him on the stand because he's the most important witness in the trial.
Right.
Those are just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's not supposed to really say. I'm surprised they did a press conference, because they just could have like put out a statement, or they could have just released that document that we've seen and kept it to that. I mean, I'm glad that he cleared up maybe some things, but yeah, there's not much he can say on that, because he is going to be he's going to be on trial. He's going to be one of the main, witnesses they call, or I forgot what they call it, expert testimony or whatever.
Right. I feel like you shot the prosecutor in the foot right there. But we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks, man. Any other thoughts? Or
Nope. That's it. Have a good day, man. Love your show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Take care, man.
Bye.
All right. We're at the end. Yeah, that call was she's been through a lot, man. That's a long time to deal with that kind of stuff. I couldn't do it, but I hope she figures that out and overcomes that, because that's like that's a whole life for some people. That's a life cycle to be going through all that, Real quick, and then we're out of here. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning and afternoon. Stayed a little bit longer today than I expected. Glenn, thank you for the super chat. So Chris says his wife, this has been one hell of a month. Our son is a murderer and I have to mow the lawn. Oh, Lord. Ceothea, my daughter is a service dog handler. She heard the comment on 3 cadaver dogs and says the handlers aren't working them enough and often can't find a body. Interesting. Savannah, thank you for the super chat. People should be looking in the backyard while he's mowing the lawn. Perfect distraction for the press. Mama getting them doggy poo bags. What? Robert, the only way you can act the way his parents are is if you know he's safe. I feel kind of agree too. Like they I don't think they think he's hurt himself or killed himself. Place and they don't gotta worry. Just my opinion. Well, thank you guys so much for the super chat, man. Thank you guys for joining the live stream. Vita, thank you for the cash app. Veronica, thank you for the cash app. Veronica says for your coffee. Thanks from Portland. Vita says, Tammy says, thanks for the keeping it real. Thank you for the cash app. And thank you to April. She bought a mug, coffee mug, which I'm going to be working on some other stuff for the site. I'm licensing things right now. You got to pay for all that stuff, for the images and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting the private detective. I wasn't expecting Dr. Amy Salerno. And we ran with the calls, did a longer show today. I think personally things are kind of slowing down with the story. I mean, there's always going to be some interest and there's always going to be like people following. But until something more tangible, like yesterday was kind of a big thing with the autopsy results. But until this guy is like found or something really groundbreaking with the parents or, you know, I don't know. It's kind of simmering out, I think. Let me just read some of the regular chats. How much is the reward money now? Says Afghan Monty. I don't know. I thought it was like at 100K plus. I really don't know. But and Discord, guys, I still have to fix some kinks. There's a bunch of people I think that joined. I'm gonna move you guys in, so don't worry about that. The people that are on Discord now, I see a couple people. I'm gonna move you guys in. Also, if you're a member, make sure you sync your account. I'm gonna make a video on how to do that. Oh, somebody, Cherry Sprite, sent me an image. Let me show you this, guys. This is where people believe injuries. I don't know. People believe that there's injuries on his arms. He kind of zoomed it in a bit. This is Brian's arms. This is on the camping trip after he came back. I think it was through 6th through the 8th or 7th. I don't know. September 6th. But yeah, we're on Discord, man. We're popping on there. There's a lot of chat conversations going on. People having opinions. Tonight, there's supposed to be a John Wall special. So I'm going to try to figure out where he's going to air it. I would think Discovery Plus because that's where his thing is at, his show, I think. I'm lost over here. What am I doing? There we go. So we're going to see tonight around 9. We'll see if we can get on Discord. See anything else in the chat? 180,000? Mel, I want to call you Gulf Coast. That's not an HOA neighborhood. That's what I was thinking. To me, I didn't think it was an HOA neighborhood. I don't know. Usually those places, I don't know what the neighborhood looks like. I've only seen the house. I haven't been there. But usually those places, they're like in communities, the HOA stuff where you have to pay these HOA fees. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I know people that live in HOA places where they got to pay all these fees and you got to abide by certain regulations and you have to get all these permissions to do whatever you want to your house. And all the houses look similar. They all have like these rules and things you got to do and you have to pay. And there's like some sort of committee. You know, I didn't think that was one of those types of neighborhoods. All you have to do is Google the damn address and you'll see there's no HOA. Thank you, Justin. That's what I thought. Doesn't look like a HOA thing to me either. HOA sounds like a pain in the butt. HOAs are great. They keep the neighborhood clean. Well, they are supposed to maintain things and fix things and like upgrade stuff in the neighborhood. I think the HOA thing, though, they can fluctuate, right? They can fluctuate prices and stuff like that. Or depending what you get yourself into, you can find yourself in like a sticky bind, I think. Zillow will give you the HOA status as cost. Okay, thanks. Bricks and mortar. I think Brian added the Cosmic Viewer sticker to the back of the van due to leaving Gabby unburied. The sticker wasn't on the last footage of the van. Thank you, Brixton. Molly! Hey, somebody called in earlier talking about you, but like in a positive. I think it was positive. Well, the private investigator talked about you, and then somebody else called in and said something positive. So, but thank you for the super chat. Molly Golati says the BLT house is kind of trashy, but Cassie's house is definitely HOA. Yeah, see that kind of that's definitely a HOA looking type of place, I guess. I know somebody now that lives in an area with that, and it can be beneficial, but they bring up the prices too sometimes, depending on what they're doing. They're supposed to let you know in advance, but most of the time the houses look all kind of similar, and there's all these rules. You can't just like go and paint your place or do whatever. You have to like get approval. It's all this BS. It makes sense, I guess, if you want the community everybody to keep up things, and but it's kind of a pain. But yeah, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please hit the like button, subscribe, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss things. And we're going to be on Discord tonight. I did live in New York. I was raised in New York. I'm born in Louisiana, Nolens, raised in New York, and here in Florida. Florida kind of grew on me. People were wondering if there was, somebody said that it's HOA, but I didn't think it was. And a lot of people are saying it's not. They went and looked it up. If it's an HOA house. I don't even know how we got there, but somehow we got there, just like everything else, right? And a lot of the people that are deemed, controversial, it's homeowners association. I actually looked it up. I knew it's some sort of thing, but a lot of people that are deemed controversial, a lot of them are just saying things that you and me talk about probably behind the scenes kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of people that are very unfiltered. I'm not wild and crazy like that. I sometimes get paranoid too when I'm talking to people on the phone. And they're saying certain things that are a little bit wild. And I'm sometimes in my head thinking of, let me be careful how I react, because in case I'm getting recorded and then they want to try to upload something crazy about me, people that I talk to sometimes, I'm very careful sometimes about what I say, because you just never know. Except maybe Sylvia. Interview Room got their channel back. I thought it was looking bad because it took such a long time. I've seen people, I've seen the mass flag takedowns. When I first spoke on it, I said it's possible he gets it back. Because of the time period, I was like, oh crap, maybe he's actually really gone. But apparently he got it back. So, I don't wish that on anybody. I know there's some sort of drama or some things that happen or whatever. But I wouldn't wish somebody to lose their channel, because I could only imagine. It's years probably. Oh, for him, it wasn't like years, but for me, it was years. Bro, if I lost a thing, I don't know what I would do. My HOA just takes care of the roads in the winter and pays the streetlights. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's different types. I know one person that has it, they do everything, like all the repairs in the neighborhood, and it can be kind of costly depending on where you live. Oh man, we're done. We almost streamed for 5 hours. I've been keeping the streams to like 2 hours, but we streamed almost 5. So I'm just gonna go relax for now, go have some lunch, and we're gonna see what we do tonight. So, well, this is boring as hell, Katie Moore, but you're still here. Lord Bogues. It depends. Why don't you say what your name is? What's your first name? I can tell you if you're my cousin or not. Which cousin are you? But anyway, just a quick stream, right? One more thing. We're here 5 hours later, 6 hours later. All right, man. I'm out of here, though. Thank you guys so much for coming through. Love you guys. Be safe. Take care. Thank you for the mods, too, man. Shout out to the mods. Thank you guys for riding through all this time. I'm sorry I wasn't expecting it to be so long. Melody, Honey. I think Momo's here. I'm not sure if she's here or not. Lexa. Sometimes they pop in and out because you got to imagine it's 4 hours and, you know what I'm saying, people are doing things throughout the day. So, yes, I am. I'm happily single. I'm so glad to be single. I'm telling you, it's a blessing. there's that song by Drake called Fair Trade. And he's like, I want to be single for a while. I don't want nobody to control me. It's just too much problems, man. With relationships. Too many problems. Too many people trying to control you. Especially what I do now. It's just work, which is like YouTube, and my daughter. I don't want no drama. I don't want trying to tell me what to do, where you're going, why you this, or why you streaming so long, complaining, doing all those bullshit. I love peace. Love peace. I want to hear no bullshit. Constantly whining, complaining all day long. All this, I can't, bro. Not with this growth right now on YouTube. This is the last thing I want to think about is a relationship. Complications, money, all kind of nah. It was a problem back then when I was like at 100, 1,000 subscribers. Imagine now. Woof. I wouldn't mind somebody like to build something with, or like somebody that's going to be on the team. But if you're going against me, no. All right, man. Take care, you guys. Love you.